hill and down dale for many years as rogues, vagabonds, frauds, and scoundrels. I sometimes suspect that, like everyone else, I often expect too much of them.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into the program. Thank God for another beautiful day. Hopefully it'll be a beautiful show. And, Montgomery needs a new mayor. Going with the drill. We really do need a new mayor. Do you agree, Eddie Vedder?
1,000%.
Now, we should have Erica Thomas calling in at a moment now.
I saw a photo of her on Facebook this morning.
Really?
A whole 1 year comparison.
Yeah, she's looking great.
Looks great.
Yeah, she's looking as cute as a button.
Yeah, really.
And happy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
hates when somebody's like cute as a button and they're just
Got the
miserable.
resting face.
Yeah, they're just
Yeah.
miserable. No, she looks
Yeah,
very happy
she does.
these days. And, well, how are you doing today? Are you happy?
Yeah, you know, it's all good.
Yeah, that's a loaded question. I apologize.
All good.
I guess I'm
No, I'm happy. I'm good.
getting to
I'm
be
on the up. Business is good. Life is good.
Mhm.
You know, stressful as always, but
So on the show today, we have Rhett Marquez.
Yes.
Like yesterday, we had David Matthews,
Mhm.
and he's running for District 2 for Congress.
yep.
And Rhett Marquez, who is Katie Brittendorf, Trump endorse.
Okay.
Got plenty of money behind him. I believe he's, I think it's an auto, tire store. Not body shop, I think just a automotive store.
Mhm.
An enterprise that he's owned for like
nice.
26 years, I believe.
Oh,
So, and he's been in the legislature since 2018. He replaced, when Barry Moore ran for Congress, he ran in Barry's seat.
you know how you know you have a good mechanic?
Hmm.
He's got a really nice boat.
Oh, you got to ask him about his boat then.
If you have a good mechanic, he has a really nice boat, and chances are, you paid for that boat.
So I look forward to talking to Rhett Marquez. But on this whole Montgomery needs a new mayor thing,
Yeah.
you know, the more I look at this convention center, and again, they decided not to make a decision
Are we kicking
Because-
the can down the road because we
it's
don't want to
because-
say yes?
because they don't have the votes. That's why they didn't have another vote. Because that would just be embarrassing to get another tie. But the more I look at this thing, the more I think this is just crooked, man.
Joey,
All right, am I
Welcome-
just stupid?
welcome aboard to Montgomery politics ever since I can remember.
Let me put it this way without being too accusatory. If you want to get something that big done in the city of Montgomery,
Mhm.
there's really only one institution, maybe one man that I think of.
Okay.
RSA.
Yep.
And Bronner. So I wonder what he thinks about this. Why aren't they going through him?
My guess
Especially
is-
if he and RSA could front it, just make it one of their investments, and then the city has major use of it. You still attract all sorts of business and stuff. But instead, it seems like we're not going with them. Now, maybe that's what they come up with. They go away from the city taking out hundreds of millions of dollars, and they go towards the RSA doing something with them. But if you're not going to go that direction,
Yeah. You go to the bond market.
it just makes me wonder who's getting
You
paid.
can bid things out to the lowest bidder.
And how much are we going to up our debt limit?
Not to the maximum,
Mhm.
but about 90%.
That's sound.
If you were a household and you were seeking this kind of credit, and you put these numbers in and it's
Mhm.
representing you, chances are most banks would turn you down.
And especially this idea that everything's going to be rosy, not just here in
Mhm.
Montgomery, but the economy in general.
It's just that's not going to happen either.
That's not true. That's
It's
never
not.
the case in that regard.
But let's go back, and I know people hate it, but we'll pull it up. Water park. Everything we said about the water park, every single frickin' detail
Right.
has come to pass. But we are still looked down upon for saying, no, you shouldn't have done that.
Mhm.
So what are we going to do? That's going to happen again. And then we're going to end up with another recycling center. Stay out of that business. Pave the roads, hire the cops. Leave the industry alone.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's a little bit. So people bring up Field of Dreams. I'm sorry. It's a Santa Claus.
Yeah.
If you need to change the station, folks, if you have children in the car, go ahead and do it. But it's a Santa Claus thing.
Yeah.
And there are all these folks. They're just, it's not happening because you don't believe in Santa. You got to believe in Santa. And it'll become true, and we'll get gifts under the tree. But to quote J.D. Vance's grandmother,
Yeah.
Screw Santa Claus. I buy your presents.
Is it not true?
And we buy the presents
Yes,
here in
we do.
Montgomery.
Yes, we do.
Look, the people, if they vote for members of the council and a mayor that wants to do this, I'm not going to go for it. But,
Yeah, but
that's the nature of local government. But it just seems like
Big picture seems
a
really
heck
fishy,
of
Joey.
a big pile of money with also incredibly vague justifications other than believe in Santa.
Yeah.
So, I hope I hope more and more folks, even the folks that voted yes, reconsider.
But the fix was in. This is what really bothers me. The fix was in with Marche.
Oh, yeah, I think I would have gotten it done.
Right. So they still, with egg all over their face, and hey, we're still the best people ever. We still want this done. This was not a setup. We weren't trying to screw anybody. But don't look at anything we've done in the past where we haven't had one single completed project that makes money or doesn't go over budget.
Anyway, welcome into the program. It is a beautiful day.
You started it.
No, it is a beautiful day. And there's many parts of this city where if I just, have a song in my heart and a prayer on my lips and I just look at God's great creation,
Mhm.
like seeing a hawk fly in the wind.
Okay.
I'm not making a joke. It's wonderful. Life
Yeah.
is great. But man, when you look at the nuts and bolts of, say, city administration, and this is just on this one project, I think there is a lack of competency across the board in
Preach.
every level of government, stuff that should be basic so we get more folks that invest.
Preach, brother.
So it's easier to operate and invest in business. It's easier to operate and, say, add to your home. Just develop things in general.
Yeah.
And this is what happens when you run a friends and family program.
Yep, exactly what happened.
And if your excuse is, well, the Bubbas used to run a friends and family program, it's a terrible excuse, number one. Even if it's true,
It never
terrible
works.
excuse.
It never works. They
Hire your friends and family, but if they're
puts
good
the-
at it, go ahead.
No.
But if it's just because they're friends and family, what the heck are you doing?
friends and family, you hire them, they will put you out of business. Everybody knows that. That's why you can't hire family. Because he ain't going to fire me. He can't. I'm his brother.
But it is a beautiful day outside. It's a little hot.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I
a
stood
little.
out in the sun.
Did you?
some- Yeah.
I went out there from about 7:30 to almost 8.
Mhm.
It was hot.
Tis hot.
Yeah. Humid, kind of heavy,
Let's see. Actually, can you check
Oh,
those?
yeah.
See if our regular guest is called in at this point. The top trending story, and it's the top headline at 1819news.com, is smoking something serious. Smoking something serious. That is a quote from the Alabama Democratic Party's Randy Kelly. And then also Joe Reed jumped in, trashing Tabitha Eisner and her plan urging Democrats to vote in this upcoming August 11th GOP primary, which again, we'll have Rick Marquez
that's
on
right.
a little later.
August
But
11th, don't forget.
Randy Kelly in particular told Caleb Taylor she's smoking something serious if she thinks that's a good idea. But he gives a whole history lesson on why. And
Okay.
I don't know if you'll be all that shocked by his history lesson. But we'll get to that. First, let's go to Erica Thomas with 1819 News. Hey, Erica, how you doing?
Howdy, Joey. I'm doing well today. Just enjoying the break in the clouds down here on the coast. We've had an interesting week, so looking forward to the weekend.
Amen. Amen. Now, we were just saying you're looking real happy on Facebook. That year later thing, Eddie and I were saying you're looking great these days. You're like happy.
Yes.
Like you can see it in the eyes.
You really can.
Oh, wow. Thanks.
No,
I am. I'm very happy. Still fishing.
Okay, so that fish that I saw today, the smaller one, what are we doing there? Erica,
Well, that was a year ago.
Okay.
And I actually caught that on the pier. It's crazy, the tiniest. Like, if we had a tournament for who can catch the tiniest fish, I would win.
Oh, wait, I thought that was bait.
No, it should have been. It could have been, but no, that was. I caught that. Yep.
well,
that's me.
I like a fisher person, woman, whatever, that's not afraid to show up her best and her worst fish. Because, most people are like, I don't keep the
have
little
a lot
ones.
of worst.
Yeah.
I mean, if I didn't show my worst, people would think I never caught anything. And
This is
I've
true,
been the
too.
last 2 days, and everybody said after a storm system, it's so good.
It
and
is.
I got insider information, the best place to go. Didn't catch a thing.
Are you
so I mean,
serious?
I'm challenged. Y'all, salt water is way different than fresh water. That's all I can say.
Now, can we start with a fishing story that you did at 1819, I think 3 days ago, hooked on noodling? And I'm looking at this young, cute lady, I believe named Emily, who is holding a catfish as big as her.
Yeah.
It's literally as big as probably, yeah. So it's a long fish. She caught a 67-pound catfish while noodling in Alabama's Black Belt, and this is an interesting story because the Black Belt Adventures Association started a new photo contest. They're starting it this year, and it's basically the big catfish photo contest. You go online, you vote. And so that's why she made the news here in Alabama. She's actually from Virginia, but she was down last year visiting her sister in Atmore, and they decided to go noodling for the first time. And now she said she just has been traveling all over the South noodling because she loves it so much.
Erica, do you see yourself doing that?
I've seen myself do that. So, funny story.
Yes.
Growing up in Wedowee, you frog gig and you go noodling. And I remember I was going to the prom with a guy, and I was like, what are we going to do after prom? Everybody always got together. We would go to a house and watch movies till, 4 in the morning. And this instance, we did end up going to actually my cousin's house and we watched movies. But before that, he took me frog gigging and noodling. And it was an interesting experience. He had like an Alabama Power glove.
Yep.
He was like, you have to wear this.
Yeah.
Because when it clamps down, it's going to be really hard. I didn't catch anything, but, I attempted. But this girl, Emily Horst, she did, and she said she called it a doozy of a fish. And you can see the photo of her standing there with it. I mean, it's massive. I don't even know how she was holding it up. Yeah. She had on the glove.
I got it up on the stream, and that's
a big one.
I'm amazed it's only 67 pounds.
Yeah.
That's a big old fish.
Yeah. Well, they also say if you hold the fish in front of you like that, it looks bigger. But I mean, this was a large catfish.
And
probably not the best eating in the world, but
it
made for a good photo.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing a few more winners, and they're just general posts. I'm seeing one that's almost that catfish looks yellow.
It was yellow cat, probably.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah. We have all kinds of
a channel
catfish.
cat on one picture, and the other's just a mud cat or a yellow cat.
Catfish are a really big deal in Alabama, and some people don't even realize it, but Brian Dawson, our CEO at 1819 News, always tells the story about my editorial choices. And
yes.
he said he learned to trust me when I was doing a catfish story, and he was like, I don't think that's going to do very well on our website. This is when we were brand new 5 years ago, by the way. 5 years ago, crazy. And so I was like, I promise it'll do well. So I published it, and it was like our top story for several months. I mean, it was a really, people love catfish in Alabama.
This is Alabama.
Whether you like to fish or eat them, yeah.
Right.
So.
Oh yeah, folks love a good just animal story in general, especially around these parts.
Yeah. Don't mention big cats.
I do too.
Now, I love that we started with this, and that you are looking happy these days. Every other story, almost, I'm like, that's awful. I'm glad you get to go fishing because there's so many.
He needs a break.
Like, let's take your pick. Former pastor accused of using gay hookup app Grindr while out on bond following child sexting arrest. My God.
Yep, that's James Gorman Houston III. He's actually the son of the late Alabama Supreme Court Justice J. Gorman Houston Jr. He was arrested. The younger Houston was arrested I believe it was in December of 2024 during one of those undercover stings by the West Alabama Human Trafficking Task Force. They came in and were communicating with someone on an app that thought that the undercover agent was an underage boy. And they said that when the person showed up to meet up with this child that didn't really exist, it was James Gorman Houston III. And so his bond was revoked recently. He will still have a hearing to see how that will go at the end of the month. I believe it's July 28th. But they said that he was using that same app, which is Grindr, apparently an online gay hookup app, to communicate with someone else. So part of his bond is that he cannot use these websites or these apps, and they accuse him of doing so anyway.
Yeah, it's just shocking how many stories on that particular subject there are out there, and it's just horrifying every time you see it. But that world certainly does exist, and just as I continue to go through a lot of the stories he's been publishing over the last few days, it looks like they got a problem in Pritchard, in particular, with the police department.
Yeah.
Like the chief was just arrested, and it looks like a grand jury in Mobile County has recommended just abolishing the department outright.
Ooh,
Yeah, the whole city of Pritchard has been in a mess over the past few years, whether it's with their police department or with their sewer and water system.
Mhm.
I mean, there's people in Pritchard that wake up to just raw sewage all in their yard. They can't even walk to their cars.
Yep.
So there's been a lot going on there. There is a new mayor, Carletta Davis, and it appears that she's really making the right moves, or at least trying to. She's getting a lot of pushback from the city council. But this all kind of came out about the police department last month after one of the officers was arrested. His name was Emmanuel Nauman Dotch II. He was charged initially with multiple federal crimes, but those include bribery, evidence tampering, conspiracy to commit extortion, and civil rights offenses. So it kind of raised the eyebrows. At that time, the Mobile County Sheriff's Office had to take over all law enforcement operations with the Pritchard Police Department. They were already handling major investigations such as homicide. Sheriff Paul Birch told me at that time there was a lot of gang activity that they were focusing on. But after this arrest, they ended up taking over everything. And one of the things they had to do was go through the evidence room. That was a mess. They said they found 148 unprocessed sexual assault kits. They said there was just guns everywhere. Everything was stored improperly and very just a mess. So they've been working to get that worked out. But Birch said that's going to take months. So yesterday, the Mobile County District Attorney's Office held a press conference and announced that the chief of police was also arrested. That was a big deal. Not only the chief of police, but also a major with the department, such Chief Walter Knight and Major Aaron Tucker, and they were arrested for official position or office for personal gain and also a theft charge. The DA said that this was not directly connected to that previous arrest, but it's kind of an all-encompassing issue with this police department. And then he went to name off just multiple officers that have been charged with various crimes, including bribery, receiving stolen firearms. All of those details are in the story at 1819news.com, but we're going to continue to follow this as things develop. And also, we're expecting more charges to come down and more arrests. So the police department could very well be abolished, and if that happens, they'll have to just kind of rebuild from the ground up, and that would be a very expensive process.
It's absolutely crazy to see how bad it can get when even, you got some people trying to row in the right direction, but how bad it can get. And I can't imagine, we got problems with the Montgomery Police Department, but nothing like that.
Right.
And, the idea of you don't feel safe in general because of crime, and then you don't feel safe because, well, the people running the police department are criminals. It's a whole other level.
Yeah, it's really sad. These are the people that we expect to protect and serve us, and when they do the absolute opposite, it's always discouraging. But something Paul Birch mentioned yesterday in the press conference was that the Pritchard Police Department actually has the lowest paid officers. I don't know if that's in the county, but I know that they're very low paid. So he said to even find a chief of police that will come in and actually do the right thing will be very difficult, because when you're getting paid so little with no benefits, there's not a lot of inspiration there.
True. Though, again, as we've talked about with like coroner's offices, you would hope there is some moral character,
Right.
despite the amount of money being thrown around and paid. But, well, good reporting, good update on that. And one story we have to hit on, and I think we'll go out with this. It's heartbreaking to see. Cancer warrior Will Roberts passes away after a hard-fought battle with his rare bone cancer. And of course, this is the young man who took it upon himself to reach out to anybody and everybody and got a big response from the president and we believe both senators here in Alabama and a lot of folks from around the country and the world. But he has passed away.
This is the saddest story I've written in a long time. Although it's inspiring, and this kid, there are no words really to explain the impact that he's had, and we'll probably never really know the full impact. But yeah, Will Roberts, he's from Ralph, Alabama. He made national headlines after he took over his mom's Facebook page and begged the Trump administration to allow this experimental but very promising drug, Delta Rex G, to be available nationwide so that he could receive it in Alabama. That has not happened yet. That is a fight that, he died fighting for. He wanted this drug to be available everywhere because it is so promising. Unfortunately, as he predicted, he did not get it on time, but he did get it. The Trump administration heard his call. Dr. Oz reached out, got him to California, the only state where you can have Delta Rex G. He was undergoing those treatments. But unfortunately, early this morning, he passed away. One thing that I just keep drawing parallels to this kid, he loved to fish. Y'all know I love to fish.
Mm-hmm.
I talk about it all the time. But when you talk about his faith, I mean, he was a true fisher of men, as God wants us to be. He stayed with his faith during his entire battle. He really suffered at the end, but he kept his faith. He, as a 15-year-old child, was dealing with more than most adults will ever understand or have to face. And still, he kept saying, we serve a God, and God is bigger. He said, every single bit of this is just a disease, and God is bigger. God is bigger. And I think of that quote, and I actually get teary-eyed because that right now he is in the hands of the Lord.
Amen.
And he is able to get so many gifts from God and so many blessings that we'll never see until we get there. But as his mom said, his story is not in vain. The fact that he passed away doesn't mean he lost it all. There were so many people that reached out to her and said, thank you so much for letting me know about this drug. We didn't know we're going to get it on time. We found God because of the faith that we've seen in your son. So really, his impact is immeasurable. And I'm just honored to be able to have followed his story, and I just don't think it's over.
Yeah, and I remember when you first wrote up about this story at 1819, and I read it, it affected me. And my main takeaway is his own immense suffering, and he was thinking just of others, in particular his mother. And it just made me think that it's that sort of suffering, especially to see that quote, we serve a God, and God is bigger. Every single bit of this is just a disease, and God is bigger. God is bigger. But that sort of faith in the midst of that sort of suffering and the work he's done for others, you just pointed out, he suffered with Christ. And through that, he spread the word and the light. And, I think we always are praying and hoping, as we should, for miracles and recovery. And sometimes we fail to see the miracles within the tragedies that we live through. And I mean, this young man, it just jumped off the page for me that no matter his fate, he's already been healed in ways everlasting. And I think in his final days helped heal a lot of folks in case of that immediate, access to that drug. But I think also for folks who saw the light that he was sharing, he's helping the Lord.
He is. And like I said, his story's not over. I think this will continue. I mean, he's reached the Trump administration. He's reached Governor Kay Ivey, Tommy Tuberville, Katie Britt. They all have responded to the news of his passing. And we will have an update on 1819news.com at 2 p.m. on those responses.
Well, I appreciate you reporting on this. You're right. It's probably the saddest thing. But there's also, well, as we said, God is bigger. As he said, God is bigger. And so
Amen.
I appreciate you, Erica, and keep your hopes up. I like seeing you happy on the Book of Faces.
Thank you. God bless.
God bless. Erica Thomas with 1819news.com. You can always check out her work and any other reporter there. 1819news.com. I didn't even know the young man, but seeing that photo right there, Eddie, of him holding up that fish, it's just, it ain't guaranteed. Tomorrow ain't guaranteed. How about this? Let's hit a quick break.
All right.
We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Trust is the number one reason why a patient chooses a healthcare provider. Adams Drugs has been your trusted healthcare provider since 1962 and has been voted the number one pharmacy in the River region for many years. We strive each and every day to provide you the level of health care you have come to expect from Adams Drugs. The employees at Adams Drugs take pride in developing relationships with their patients, from making sure your prescriptions are filled correctly to getting to know you and your family's needs and following up on any questions you may have. Adams Drugs employees deliver top-notch service. We ask you to visit us at any of our locations in Montgomery, Prattville, Wetumpka, Millbrook, and Pine Level Marbury and give us a chance to earn your business. You can find us at adamsdrugs.net for the location that is nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local, independently owned Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
At Montgomery Men's Health, we saw a bunch of patients last month. Almost none came because of an ad. They came because something happened. A fight with a wife who finally said, "Get help." A breakup. A new relationship that made them aware of things they used to ignore. A photo a friend tagged them in. One guy said he just stared at himself in the mirror. And that was enough. If today's your day, call right now. 334-440-3663. I'm Dr. Smith, urologist and advisor to Montgomery Men's Health. Built on almost 15 years of treating men in Alabama, one patient at a time. Dedicated to ED, low T, and male performance. Here's what happens when you call. We book you this week. We'll get a lab in an hour. For ED, we walk you through your real options at the same visit. A plan before you leave. Don't let today turn into next year. Call now. 334-440-3663. That's 334-440-3663. MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Weather, a service of H&H Carpets, where right now, get a load of this, listen close, you get a house full of carpet for $19.95 installed. Unbelievable. They're located at 6450 Atlanta Highway, just across from Walmart.
Well, hi, everybody. It's an all too familiar forecast with triple-digit heat indices again today. There will be scattered random cooling showers for some lucky towns, but many towns get skipped. The actual high temperature today up to about 93 will be in the mid-70s tonight, and not much change Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Highs in the low to mid-90s, triple-digit heat indices, scattered random mostly afternoon and evening showers and storms. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Joey Clark. This part of the program brought to you by James Cole and Cole Plumbing. And they're Cole Plumbing, James, and the team ready to help you out with big plumbing problems, small plumbing problems. Maybe the problem isn't anything that's technically broken or not working. It's that you want nicer things, like, say, a taller toilet. You might think, well, that can't be that much nicer. It is. It is much, much nicer, especially if it isn't just a convenience because it's taller and a wider toilet and all that. But say you're getting up there in age. The knees don't work as well. Your hips don't work as well. It's kind of a chore to get up off the toilet, that little one that you've had for years. What if you get a taller toilet with Cole Plumbing? They can install something like that. And of course, you say you got a big problem, like a big water leak, like you got a water bill like you had at a pool or something. Well, Cole Plumbing can find the issue and fix it up without causing, well, problems, extra problems and cost, like tearing out a bunch of drywall, digging up a huge trench or hole in your yard. Now they can do it with precision and expertise. Find the leak, seal it up, and take care of it for you. But of course, garbage disposal, maybe it's just a drippy faucet. They can take care of all of it there at Cole Plumbing. So check them out today at 279-8919. That's 279-8919. And just remember, folks, when you have trouble with your bowl,
call on Cole, Joey.
Indeed. You looked at me funny as you entered the studio. I was talking about toilets.
Yeah, I wasn't sure you were talking about toilets.
No, I was just saying there's a difference. You might not think it's a big deal, but I've experienced this of late. Like, the house was all busted.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was using like the guest bathroom. And it has a short squat to the ground.
Oh, yeah.
And you get used to it. You do what you got to do. But then when I got back into the space once it was fixed, I'm like, oh my goodness.
So much better.
This is so much better. My knees aren't even that bad. They click.
Are they
make
popping?
a lot. My knees make a lot of noise every time I genuflect at the church.
Like, I can imagine
Joey's here
at your church. Yes, there's a lot of the clickety clacks several times during the. During the
and I'm considered one of the younger men.
Is it rude?
What do you mean?
If I got bad knees and I just stay down, and then at the end of all the up and down, I get up.
Now you'd be amazed at some of the old timers that
I know they
still get down there, baby.
Right, I'd do it, but I'm just saying, would it be rude if one day I went, oof, I'm kind of stuck here for a minute?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, or you can do the Anglican squat, where you're on the kneeler.
Yeah.
And then you put your butt on the pew. Yeah.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
Actually, or it's just like, hey, I've been kneeling here for 30 minutes. I'm gonna, give at least a different position to my quad for a second.
I'm glad that's allowed. I think that's very good.
That is allowed. No, it's people get so self-conscious.
Certainly.
Like, what should I be doing? It's like, how about you just focus on like your own internal mental prayer and your focus where your heart is.
You really made me kind of giggle about that because you're right. In situations like that, and I've been one of them when you go, wait, am I doing the right thing? You're not even. That's not where you're supposed to. Your mind shouldn't be there. That's not even where your mind should be.
Now, of course, there are a lot of things at a Catholic mass where if you're not Catholic and it's like the first time going, you're like, why did everybody just scratch themselves right before the gospel was read? It's like, no, you make a sign of the cross on your forehead, on your lips, and on your heart.
Yeah.
There's stuff like that where you're like, what do we do? But everything has this built-in liturgical meaning to it and rhythm to it.
Yeah, but for a Southern Baptist, what are we doing here?
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Well, the center of the liturgy is going to be on the Eucharist. We have a homily too. We have a sermon too. But
speaking of that, yesterday, Skanecki's birthday.
Yeah, my uncle.
Yeah,
everybody else calls Father Bill in the Catholic community.
Yeah,
Monsignor. Actually,
yeah, Monsignor. I forgot to give him a shout out. Happy birthday.
I don't think he likes being called Monsignor.
Really?
I don't think he hates it either, but I think he kind of likes just being Father Bill.
I get that. Okay, as you get older, people start calling you Mister. I'm not a Mister. I'm Eddie. Yeah, yeah, I get that.
Anyway, let's get to some Democrat politics here locally, though, because there's some national Democrat politics where AOC is moving up the charts.
Whatever.
Yeah, she's like number one in an early primary state in New Hampshire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't think AOC's got the goods?
No. I remember.
What about Latina power?
I think she's got more than There'd probably others because there's a backing of her, but at the end of the day, she will fizzle very quickly. Very quickly.
Just, I'm saying, Eddie, you know the fellas.
I know many Latinos.
I'm not talking about you. You know the fellas out there.
I do, and I know
a lot of the fellas who don't even care about politics.
Right.
Like a lot of the fellas working out there at Hyundai.
Yep.
Is not Latina power a real thing?
It is a real thing. However, men don't let silly things like looks and things cloud their judgment when it comes to being a better politician, a better person. So I trusted in men that they will make the right choice and dump her right away.
Sure. Yes, of course.
Because men are perfect.
It's not like men vote for the tallest guy in the room.
Not at all. But did you know that?
But George Washington was the tallest guy in the room.
Okay, tallest guy in the room. Men's height. I don't know if I told you this before.
That's a real thing.
It is a real thing, but it's compared to women's bust size.
I saw that. What comedian did that?
I don't
It's a
remember, but
stand-up
they
bit.
nailed it.
Might be Hannibal Buress, I think.
Might have been Hannibal. I was thinking it was a chick, but I think they nailed it though, because that's very true.
Yeah,
very true.
Yeah, it's kind of just a gift from God.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
Here you B cup.
Yeah.
Huh?
No, I'm like 5'11", baby.
5'11".
Yeah, I am 5'11".
Good deal.
Yeah.
Good deal. With the lifts?
I don't wear lifts. I wear boots though. So with the boots, I'm definitely over 5'11".
Used to be this great song. I think Judas Priest did. Fairies wear boots.
I'm gonna start getting lifts. I'm coming with a spray tan. I'm gonna just.
I wouldn't do the spray tan. It looks unnatural.
Says the guy who looks like he's been sitting under a fast food heat lamp.
What are you? This is not a fast food heat lamp. This is all natural.
No, I'm sorry. It's a Michelin star. I'll give you that.
It's the Titus Community Grocery. They got a heck of a heat lamp in there.
No, but local. We'll get the AOC. We'll get
All
the
right.
Latina power and like where Vance is, where Rubio is on the Republican nomination.
loving
People
Rubio,
are already
man.
doing all these polling.
I'm loving Rubio.
John Ossoff, who I've been saying, like, watch out for Ossoff.
Yeah.
But locally.
Okay.
You know, Tabitha Eisner.
Yep.
Like how she's saying Democrats should go vote in this special
Yeah,
election.
she invited them to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, 1819's Caleb Taylor reached out to the top dogs there at
Okay.
the Alabama Democrat Party.
All right.
And they say the party isn't encouraging its members to vote in the upcoming Republican primary, despite plans from the party's vice chair, Tabitha Eisner, according to party chair Randy Kelly. So the chair thinks the vice chair is full of crap. Eisner recently, of course, urged Democrat voters to head to the polls for the August 11th Republican special primary to try to block former U.S. Rep. Jerry Carl, State Rep. Rhett Marquez, who we'll talk to at 2 o'clock, and Amy Aiken from winning their primary races. Eisner called for Democrats to pick a Republican ballot in the upcoming special primary. I was just on the face of it, it's not that good of a plan.
It's not. It's more of
Unless
no
you actually have
practice
a
vote.
plant.
Yeah.
But I don't think you do.
They don't. They're just looking for chaos.
Yeah.
The chaos.
Alabama has, of course, this extra primary election in some congressional districts due to Alabama's recently reverting back to a likely 6-1 Republican map instead of the 5-2 map used in the 2024 cycle. But Randy Kelly, the chair of the Alabama Democrats, told 1819 News on Wednesday, "I don't want to have a messy contest in public, but Tabitha is not that credible." It's one big hairy butt
Repeat that
coming
one
around.
more time, if you wouldn't mind.
I don't want to have a messy contest in public.
Okay.
But Tabitha is not that credible.
Okay.
And he didn't stop there. Now, if he had just left it at that.
He didn't leave anything to the imagination. He
went on. He said, Tabitha has always been way out there. She don't speak for the party. Randy Kelly said, she ran for everything you can think of and hasn't won anything. That would be the last person I would consider for any authoritative information. I don't want to have a messy contest in public. But she's way out there, man. Doesn't speak for any of us. She's run for everything, hadn't won anything. And be the last person to have authoritative information. But then Randy Kelly decided to give, I think Caleb Taylor wrote this up,
Okay.
Caleb a history lesson on why this is crazy.
All right.
He says, now, first off, that's against our bylaws and Constitution. We don't vote for Republicans. We have a rule called the Radney Rule. We have disqualified folks for supporting Republicans, for taking contributions from Republicans, giving contributions to Republicans. We are what you call yellow dog Democrats, Kelly said. The Republican Party has been the white flighty party.
Mm.
The Ku Klux Klan, as you know, ran the Democratic Party during the 60s. That's the party of Bull Connor, George Wallace. The Edmund Pettus Bridge was named after the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan in Alabama. As blacks made progress through the Montgomery bus boycott, social justice activism through the Project C in Birmingham, where they came up with the Civil Rights Act after the Ku Klux Klan had bombed that church and killed those girls and had it planned in a church, Highland Methodist Church. Then you had the Voting Rights Act, of course, John Lewis and that crowd on the bridge, and Brown versus Board of Education, which was passed in 1954, but just enacted in the late 60s or early 70s in Alabama, of school integration. So, Randy Kelly goes on saying, so as we made progress through protest or perceived progress through protest, the white folks went Republican. That crowd didn't want us sitting on the front of the bus, left. That crowd that didn't want us sitting there up front, left. That crowd that didn't want us voting, left. That crowd didn't want us having our civil rights or decent housing or equal education to their children. They left and went Republican. That's what you got in that Republican Party. So why in the world would we vote for them? Somebody would have to be smoking something serious to think we are going to be voting for some Republican.
Okay.
Kelly said he planned to run for re-election as party chair in the upcoming executive committee meeting on August 8th. So it sounds like the campaigning's already going.
Sounds like it's going now.
Eisner, and this is not, it's not surprising because there's a lot of problems. But Eisner has also accused Joe Reed, vice chair of minority affairs for the Alabama Democrat Party.
Okay.
Eisner has accused Joe Reed of violating campaign finance laws and illegal electioneering. She, in fact, shared a photo of a check from Regions Bank from Friends of Tabitha Eisner, paid to the Order of Blacks in Government PAC, $5,000. This is on June the 4th, 2018. This check is dated that I'm looking at, and it has Tabitha Eisner. That's her signature. And she put this out after putting out that photo of that check. How old is my feud with Joe Reed? It goes all the way back to 2018 when I was running for Congress. After I got the ADC endorsement, Reed called and told me I had to pay $15,000 for the endorsement. When I told him federal law prohibits federal campaigns from donating more than $5,000 to a PAC, he told me to write 3 checks for $5,000 to his 3 PACs. I agreed to write 1 check. My campaign donated $5,000 to the Blacks in Government, the big PAC, which is run by Joe Reed. The check was deposited, but the PAC never reported receiving that money.
Ooh.
So I don't know where it went or how it was spent. Joe Reed told 1819 News, I don't have no respect for nothing Tabitha says. She just said that. She's supposed to pay. She wouldn't pay. Everybody's got to pay to help to get the vote out. Joe Reed added, she wouldn't pay. That's all. Nobody gets along with her. Nobody. She has no standing. Well, damn.
Yeah. A little bit damning. These are his own words, right?
So that's how the Democrats are doing in Alabama.
All I can say to that is Trump on.
There are those that think I'm a very stable genius.
This part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services, and they're at Pest Pro. Ashley and that great team are ready to help you with any and all of your pest control needs. But especially this time of the year, you're probably dealing with mosquitoes.
Yes.
Like, say you enjoy your property. You like sitting on the front porch or in the backyard. Yeah. Maybe you got not just a front porch or front yard, backyard. You've got a big property with lots of land that you can really walk. And you don't want to do that now, even if it's like 7 o'clock at night and the sun's just going down, because you're going to get eat up.
Eat up mosquitoes.
And you don't want to spray yourself with all those chemicals that don't really work.
Too.
They do stink. So why not have the property treated?
Yeah.
Because you're not going to find any mosquitoes.
They're
not going to bother you.
Since they're doing that large property, go ahead and knock those fire ants out.
Yes.
Because I myself have stumbled into a fire ant bed in the evening when you didn't see it coming and
Yeah.
had to leave my flip-flop there because they ate up my foot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
It was very unfortunate, especially my neighbors were a little upset because they heard me cussing. Because they don't have Pest Pro. Well, they have them now, but they didn't have Pest Pro services at the time.
See, this is why you need Pest Pro, folks. You don't want Eddie cussing on your
You
property.
don't. You don't.
So check them out today. And of course, they provide a basic pest control package that's fantastic.
Right now, though, I would think termite inspection more important than ever.
Oh, yeah.
We have
this rain.
the conditions, right? The conditions right now for termites. You got it warm and it's very moist, and in your basement, it's going to be some darkness and things like that as well. That's where they love to thrive.
So check out Pest Pro today. You can always learn more at ppsriverregion.com or search Pest Pro services on the Book of Faces or call them direct, 265-9990. That's 265-9990. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro services, and be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi, I'm Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop Wellness Center at 8161 Vaughan Road. You know, with over 30 years experience in natural wellness, I've seen countless health fads come and go. A few years ago, we added a patented technology that actually activates your stem cells. It reverses the aging process at the cellular level. However, you do need proper hydration and targeted nutrition. At the Herb Shop, our advanced scanning and testing technology allows us to accurately assess your nutritional needs and get a customized plan for you. Come in today and see what the Herb Shop can do for you.
Hey, this is Lyle from Margaret's Swinson Jewelry, and I do my radio advertising on Blue Water. I'll tell you what, I use most of the stations, and I've been using it for so long. It's hard to tell with the money you spend on advertising if it does any good. When they come in and say, I heard you on the radio, I know it's Blue Water, and I love Blue Water.
Radio works. It's as simple as that. Call us to find out how radio can work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
This just seems like a child.
Joe Satriani. Yeah. Dude, I'd get on the headphones, back in people moving. Head to down.
I just have this image when we were jet skiing and you were out ahead showing off.
Wasn't showing off.
And,
I was just
and
leading
he
the way.
stood up, folks. He's standing up. It's like, and I just had this sort of thing come to my head.
Joe, if you knew me when. Now I'm just the old man.
So coming up, I want to play this Brandon Gill segment with the president of the American Bar Association. Brandon Gill's becoming a rock star.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of theater to this, to your point the other day, that are we really going to take down the ABA because they had a bad showing at a committee hearing from questioning from some clever young Republican? No. But what Gill is doing is giving ammunition to everybody. In particular, the trick he's doing is, that little like political wedge or cudgel or weapon you made called DEI.
Yeah.
It can be used against y'all.
I'd love
Without
somebody to flip the
exaggerating it,
script. Yeah.
without twisting it, just using the weapon you made and put on the table. How does it feel when that is pointed at you?
What's that saying, now that the rabbit's got the gun?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Now the rabbit's got the gun.
Ain't some hazy.
That was from
27292. What? Good. Okay. Sorry, I just, I ain't. Like, rabbit's got the gun or something. So I'm looking forward to seeing Brandon Gill continue to rise and Brandon Gill continue to stick it to folks. And we'll give you an example of how he decided to turn the weapon back on the Democrats, the very weapon the Democrats created. Now, I forgot to mention in detail, but Eddie was a little confused before. I guess he's answering a phone call right now. But it's hot NILF summer. It's hot NILF summer for American workers. Now, some of you might be thinking out there, like, what does NILF stand for? Well, it's not anything dirty. Has nothing to do with, well, the way this acronym is usually used. But it isn't exactly wholesome either. It's a little bit worrisome. So hot NILF summer for American workers. That's the number of adults who are not in the labor force. NILF stands for not in the labor force. Surged to an all-time high in June of 105.8 million. 105.8 million NILFs, Eddie Bader.
What?
NILFs.
Oh, the NILFs.
N-I-L-F.
Okay. Yep. We talked about that.
Yeah, but it stands for not in the labor force.
Yes.
105 million people.
Okay.
That's a lot of people.
We don't call them unemployed or anything. We're just not in the labor force.
Yeah.
They're choosing not to be part of the labor force.
Right.
Oh, they're just
Because
lazy
they're not
pieces of
looking.
crap.
They're not looking for a job.
Yeah. Hey, look, man, I was looking for a job when I found this one, man.
Yeah, this record comes after a massive surge of 832,000 workers dropping out of the labor force in June alone. The overall number of NILFs is higher than at the height of the Great Recession or the COVID pandemic. The definition is broad. It covers all Americans age 16 and over who aren't currently working, including retirees and students. Leading labor economist Nicholas Erbstad
Yeah, but that's a loaded.
says that drilling down into the data reveals a startling pattern of dropouts, particularly among men.
That's loaded, though. You're not counting, which is would be a large percentage of people. 16 and retirees, you're not counting them. That's going to be a.
No, you are
large percent.
counting them.
You are, but you're counting them as they should be working.
No, you're
They're-
just counting them as not in the labor force because they're not in the labor force.
Yeah, but that kind of stacks the deck. They're not in the labor
No,
force.
but if you look like at the pattern over time,
Yeah.
no, not necessarily. And
It's not just more people retired more than ever.
no, apparently, like this guy broke it down. Erbstad.
Sounds nerdy.
We've got a big problem with the flight from work of prime age men. And what's been carrying the overall prime age labor force participation has been the strong involvement of women, not men. Huh. So
Well,
yeah, no, guys at like prime of life, guys my age, guys your age, I guess, they're not working. So it's like the retirees. Yeah, we are getting more retirees, but that's not what's skewing things.
Did it break it down any further? Age, like, is it a certain demographic that's not like that 18 to 25-year-old that's not participating in the workforce as much as it used to be?
Well, I'm looking for breakdowns here. 22% of America's NILF population are on long-term illness, disability, or other
That's
forms of
what I was figuring.
benefits. That represents more than 23 million Americans.
Yep.
But some 5.3 million workers, 5% of NILFs, have dropped out because they are discouraged or they're not even bothering to look for work.
Yeah, I've been there when I was younger. And then,
But that startling figure of just the folks who are on disability and is higher than the percentage of Americans over 16 in full-time education, which is between 16 and 18%, or just 19 million Americans. By far, the largest segment of the NILF population is retirees, who make up 50% of total Americans not working. That's not surprising, given the large cohort of baby boomers are in their golden years. But some 45% of NILFs are retirees who took standard retirement at the age of 65 or later. About 3 to 5% retired early. While absolute numbers of NILFs is at a record, the portion of Americans in the labor market hit 59% in June. That's the lowest since September 2021. I don't know.
Well, all right, you tell me this. You're closer to this generation than I am. College kids nowadays, is it common to go to college and not have a job too? Just college? So I was wondering how many drop out because of that.
No, but apparently there's something like 7 million men who are out of the labor force who are 25 to 54 years old.
I know a lot of people on disability, and I'm not knocking nobody, but there's a lot of men on disability.
Anyway, just not a good dynamic.
No.
We got to hit a break.
All right.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. The next major government-wide funding deadline will be September 30th, just a couple of months from now. That will mark the end of the fiscal year for 2026 and start fiscal 2027. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt giving reporters a heads up Today at the White House, she suspects that Democrats will try to threaten another possible government shutdown, something she hopes that Congress can help to avoid. They'll need to pass 12 annual appropriations bills to fund the government by that deadline. Republicans in Congress continue to back the Iran war despite the political risk. The potential political peril has only grown in recent days, especially for Republicans facing re-election in the midterm elections. Google parent company Alphabet taking a hit on Wall Street. Despite reporting huge profits of late, the market is reacting negatively because Alphabet is spending an enormous amount of money investing on more AI infrastructure. Will it pan out? This is SRN News.
Well, it's official. My friends have all switched to Pure Talk because I told them they could save a bunch of money on a super reliable high-speed network with unlimited data. And because they're my friends, they trust me. As for the rest of you, well, Pure Talk understands that even though you might like me, you're not just going to take my word for it, nor should you. For that reason, and for a very limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited plan that normally sells for $65 a month. Think of it like a test drive, a super simple way to save $150 while you kick the tires on Pure Talk's blazing fast network, and a fine way to see for yourself why I switched from Big Wireless, along with a few 100,000 of my closest friends. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and be connected to Pure Talk's friendly U.S. customer service team. Again, dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Victoryland.
Giveaways galore all summer long. Diamond Days, Diamond Jewelry Giveaway, and TV Tuesdays, TV Giveaway with $185,000 in free play at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Victoryland Casino, off I-85 exit 22, Shorter, Alabama.
Rich Thomas Weather. Well, hi, everybody. It's an all too familiar forecast with triple-digit heat indices again today. There will be scattered random cooling showers for some lucky towns, but many towns get skipped. The actual high temperature today up to about 93 will be in the mid-70s tonight, and not much change Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Highs in the low to mid-90s, triple-digit heat indices, scattered random mostly afternoon and evening showers and storms. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. Governor Kay Ivey signed an executive order Wednesday establishing the Governor's Commission on Screen-Based Instruction. The new commission will study the use, risk, and benefits of screen-based instruction in Alabama classrooms. The executive order follows the passage of the Focus Act, which prohibits cell phones in classrooms and requires local school boards to adopt internet safety policies. The reward has now been increased to $10,000 for information in an unsolved Montgomery homicide. On the night of February 11, 2023, 52-year-old Yvette Carter was shot and killed while asleep in her home on Hatton Avenue. 3 suspects are believed to be connected to the homicide. Anyone with information regarding the murder of Yvette Carter is urged to contact authorities. Pike Road announced the consolidation of its primary fire and emergency services on Wednesday. The Town Council unanimously approved the Pike Road Volunteer Fire Department as the primary fire and emergency service provider for all properties in the town of Pike Road. The move follows the expiration of Pike Road's contract with the Rolling Hills Volunteer Fire Department. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Before you commit to that plumbing repair or upgrade, get a second opinion from Headley Plumbing. Our estimate could save you thousands. We do it all: residential, commercial, and septic tank service, serving the entire river region. No membership, no contract, just fair, reliable service. Call Headley Plumbing at 285-3667 or visit headleyplumbing.com. In our business, a flush beats a full house.
Headley Metal Buildings has been your source for quality metal buildings in the river region since 2007. Carports up to 24 feet wide, RV covers, storage buildings, even a sturdy metal barn up to 54 feet wide. Your structure can be customized, installed on level ground, and comes with a 20-year warranty. Let Headley Metal Buildings help you find the perfect solution. Financing available, Call 285-3667 for details or find Headley Metal Buildings on Facebook.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers.
For Montgomery's conversational radio show, it's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. So let's go to the Brandon Gill stuff. All right. This guy definitely is a rising star in the Republican Party just from these things. A lot of folks noticing his work. So he's talking to the president of the ABA, the American Bar Association. Now, he opened up with a big thing, as we've talked to Alan Mendenhall about. Well, the ABA emphasizing DEI and all this other stuff.
Yes.
But let's listen to Gill. This is him just getting started.
Ms. Banky, according to the ABA's website, quote, all of us have implicit biases. Would you agree with that statement?
The ABA believes that diversity, equity, and inclusion improves the
Would you agree with the statement that, quote, all of us have implicit biases from the ABA's website?
The ABA believes that diversity in all of
Is
its
that a
realms
yes?
is
Can I take
important.
that? It's a yes or no question. Do you believe that all of us have implicit biases, as your website says?
The ABA looks to remove barriers, and we examine.
That's not my question, ma'am. Do you believe that all of us have implicit biases?
I've expressed what the ABA is doing.
That
with
is
its
that is the
diversity work.
ABA's position, as expressed by their website. Against which groups do you have implicit biases?
The ABA believes that it's important to always explore.
Are you going to filibuster? Because it doesn't make you sound very good. I'm going to ask you again, against which groups do you have implicit biases?
It's important to always examine everyone's point of view and where they may need to
It
consider.
is. What about your point of view?
I am here as the president of the American Bar Association, and,
And I'm asking you what your implicit biases are.
the ABA is an entity.
Have you reflected on your implicit biases?
I think about how I operate
are
in
they?
the world constantly.
Would you like to explain to us what they are?
I am here speaking on behalf of the ABA and the
All right,
ABA's.
we're going to move on.
So it's interesting, like they come up with this, I think junk science, psychological term that everybody has an implicit bias, but it's often used as just a weapon in one particular way to,
I've noticed that.
to psychoanalyze people. But if you ask somebody straight up who says own organization, she's the president of it, says, well, everybody has their implicit bias. And you're like, okay, everybody has one. What are yours? And they're like, oh, wait, I'm stuck in this trap that I made for others.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I don't disagree with, yes, everyone does, whether you
well, the problem is,
subconsciously
though,
or consciously, but I don't like it being used against me.
The
that
problem
way.
is the implicit part.
Yeah.
Because we're going to use implicit, so we don't have to be explicit in suggesting that, well, because you have all sorts of problems and privileges as well, then, well, sit down and shut up and give us our way. It's a power play.
Doesn't play well.
Anyway, that's just the beginning. Gill jumps over to questions of the Supreme Court, because again, this is the head of the American Bar Association. So, standards for how we decide who's going to be on the Supreme Court, and it's a hot button issue with all these rulings they've come out with. But if we need to include everybody, we need to include everybody, says Brandon Gill. Well, anyway, let's listen in.
States that our legal profession is enhanced when judges resemble the cultural groups that make up American society. How many Supreme Court justices have we had in American history?
I could not tell you over the.
It's about 116. Do you know of those 116, how many of them have been transgender?
I have no idea.
Do you think there might have been one?
I have no idea.
Is it fair to say that there have been no transgender Supreme Court justices in American history?
I honestly have no idea.
You don't know?
I have no idea.
You study the law, don't you?
We do not study the personal attributes of individual justices.
Is there a Supreme Court justice in American history that you think might have been transgender?
I have no idea.
You have no idea? Well, I think most people can assume that there haven't been any transgender Supreme Court justices. I hope that we can agree at least on that basis. Would that be okay to proceed under that assumption? Okay, I appreciate that. So transgenders haven't been represented on the Supreme Court. Do you think that it's important that the next Supreme Court justice be transgender?
The ABA does not subscribe to any particular quotas.
I'm not asking about a quota. I'm asking about representation, diversity, equity, and inclusion.
The ABA supports diversity in all of its forms, and
Have transgenders been included on the U.S. Supreme Court?
the ABA supports the full spectrum of
Do you think that it's a
diversity, and we
problem
think
that the transgender community has never had representation on the U.S. Supreme Court?
the ABA believes in diversity, equity, and inclusion as
And I'm
something-
asking you about diversity, equity, and inclusion. I'm asking you about inclusion of the transgender community.
We believe that people ought to bring their entire self to whatever role they're serving.
You're
in the legal-
refusing to answer my question. Do you think that it's important that we have a transgender Supreme Court justice
I believe that it's
in order to
important.
include that community?
I believe that it is always important, the ABA believes that it is always important to support and encourage diversity.
So we
equity,
should
and
have a
inclusion.
transgender Supreme Court justice?
Diversity has many forms, and we believe that
Do you think
each
that you're not
person-
answering in a straightforward way? Do you think that's because of your own implicit bias?
I believe that I'm trying to explain that the ABA does not set quotas and does not believe that
Do you have
need
implicit
one-
transphobia?
The ABA believes that diversity in all of its forms is important and helps the profession more globally.
Okay.
See, he continues to use the weapon.
Okay.
Like, and that's the problem with the implicit thing. Like you say, you go, no, I'm not going to go in that direction. So you must have an implicit bias. It's not falsifiable. Like nobody can prove it or disprove it. It's just, it's interesting, like how people squirm when you throw it back at them.
She sounded like your arguments with Grok.
Yeah.
She just kept going with the "you're not going to get me" line, and I'm going to say the most basic.
Right. I have been programmed
Yes.
to behave in a
Yes.
certain way, so I will not go there.
Yep.
So he sticks to the Supreme Court thing and goes away from hypothetical, like, well, if this is the standard, like we've never had any transgender justices, and
Okay.
this is the standard of the ABA, shouldn't we have a transgender justice for the sake of diversity and equity and inclusion?
Yes.
Well, he now goes into the past when it comes to the Supreme Court.
Okay.
And in something, Joe Biden said.
Ooh.
Let's listen in.
Was race a factor in Ketanji Brown Jackson's Supreme Court nomination?
I have no idea how that process works. I'm a real estate lawyer.
President Biden stated, quote, "I've made no decision except one, and that's that person will be the first black woman ever nominated to the United States Supreme Court." So I think it's fair to say that race was and gender were factors in that.
Now, Eddie, you started laughing because she snuck in there. I'm a real estate attorney.
Yes. I love real estate attorneys. They're my best friends in the world, but
yeah.
I put them in a different class of, that sounds terrible, of defense and attorneys and prosecutors.
Right, like constitutional lawyers
Yes.
and true
Yes.
prosecutors, even like the traffic, like the injury lawyers and
Yes.
stuff. Like,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how would you describe a real estate attorney? They wear
Everyone
jeans
I've
most
ever
of the time?
everyone I've ever dealt with, but incredibly professional.
Yeah.
And they're very attorney-like, where they tell you what they can do, but they're also telling you there's no guarantees there, buddy.
Sure.
I've never really met too many bad real estate attorneys.
Anyway.
Thanks for making me squirm, Joey.
Ketanji Brown Jackson's Supreme Court nomination?
I have no idea how that process works. I'm a real estate lawyer.
President Biden stated, quote, "I've made no decision except one, and that's that person will be the first black woman ever nominated to the United States Supreme Court." So I think
That's one of the best excuses ever. I'm just going to tell people I have no idea how that works. I'm a real estate lawyer.
But here's the thing. Okay, you're supposed to be over this, right? So you should have some
Right.
basic understanding.
Right. But okay, so Biden did explicitly say he's going to pick a black
did.
woman. Right.
it's fair to say that race was and gender were factors in that nomination process. Wouldn't you agree?
You would have to have a conversation.
He
With a lawyer?
explicitly stated that, so I think it's fair to say. I mean, you're a lawyer. I think that's fair to say. Do you think that it's just or righteous that Joe Biden explicitly excluded black men in the nomination process for the Supreme Court vacancy?
The ABA does not support discrimination of any sort.
So you don't think that it was proper for Joe Biden to exclude every group other than black women in deciding who should fill that Supreme Court vacancy? Is that your testimony?
The ABA relishes diversity, equity, and
Right.
inclusion.
Is
and
it
bringing-
acceptable for Joe Biden to exclude black men in the nomination pool for the Supreme Court?
The ABA never supports discrimination.
That's good to hear.
Need to put that out there, didn't we?
It's kind of amazing.
It's arguing with Grok, man. Like you said, she has a pre-programmed answer, and you're not going to get past that wall.
Well, and it's also amazing. Like you take it from the brand or the fashionable thing that must be said, and you actually apply the weapon, the logic of where these brands and these slogans go. And the thing is, they don't want to say it out loud because if you put it just bare bone like he's putting it, it sounds absurd and awful. But if you frame it, and this is why you're getting the Grok-like answer, if you frame it in a certain way, well, it's just representation.
It doesn't sound as bad, but the person saying it sounds very bought and paid for.
Now, here's another one. Let's listen in.
So do you agree that Americans should be judged by the content of their character and not by the color of their skin?
Yes, I would agree.
You agree with that? Should a law school consider an applicant's race when making admissions decisions?
The Supreme Court has indicated that
I'm asking you if they should. It's a normative question.
discrimination is never appropriate, and
So is it your testimony that law schools should not consider applicants' race when making admissions decisions?
the Supreme Court has said that you may not take race into account.
So you don't believe that race should have any role, yes or no, in a law school's admissions decisions?
Law
Is that the position of the ABA?
The ABA is not responsible for admissions.
I didn't say it was. I'm asking you if you believe, and if it's the position of the ABA, that race should not be a factor at all in a law school's admissions decisions.
The ABA takes compliance with the law seriously.
I didn't ask you that. It's a really simple question. I'm asking you, let me just ask you in your own personal capacity, should race be a factor in law school admissions decisions? The question is a yes or no question.
I am here in my
Yes or no,
capacity-
should race be a factor in law school admissions
I
decisions?
am here in my capacity.
Because according to the ABA, it should. The ABA has said explicitly that they have a long history of supporting consideration of race in law school admissions. Is that your testimony, that law schools should continue taking into account race?
The Supreme Court indicated that diversity is a laudable goal, and the ABA supports diversity in all of
This
its
is
forms.
embarrassing for you. You ought to be able to answer this in a very straightforward way. And with that, the time is up.
I don't know if I'd rather have given answers he wanted just to hear him mock me, or just sit there and mock me because I'm an idiot.
No, I think she chose the route that probably was optimal for her and her position.
I think, yeah, she chose the route of don't get my butt fired.
Right. Exactly right.
Yeah.
Don't say out loud the things we put out in paper and everybody knows about us anyway.
That being said, I would think that a lot of people are guilty of that. You do put out like a PR thing for your company, and you toe the company
Yeah,
line.
but it's not just a PR thing. This is like the ABA is one of the worst offenders, given
think
their
so.
power as like the only accrediting body, really.
The only.
Like we talked about this at length with Alan Mendenhall. And so, yeah, it's good to see states like Florida. I think Alabama's taken this step, like to actually start pushing back and saying, we'll find other accrediting. The ABA can still exist and accredit people, but we're going to not allow a monopoly, given y'all seem to, especially because they try to parse it out of like, well, there's our strict like standards body, and then there's like our political association group.
And we try to separate it.
Yeah,
Give
me a
one
break.
and the same.
Give me a break.
Let the political do the dirty work.
So while we're doing the political theater thing, this is from a few days ago, and it's always great to see another learned lawyer on the Republican side, Senator John Kennedy.
Oh, I love this man.
But he's talking about something pretty unique to Louisiana, but actually to a lot of the American South that has, well, the Gulf of America right to the south of us. So let's listen in. The Senator Kennedy, he's talking to Brooke Rollins, Secretary of Agriculture.
Farmers of the
Are
sea?
oyster harvesters farmers?
Yes. In this USDA,
Are they
yes.
having to compete with other countries who grow oysters and shrimp in a ditch and shoot them full of antibiotics?
100% yes.
And if you eat too much of that foreign shrimp and oysters, you'll grow an extra ear, won't you?
I'm not sure about that, but I know it is not good. And I also know we
Why
import
aren't we
90% of our
inspecting
shrimp.
the shrimp and the oysters from abroad?
Well, it goes much larger than that. Why are we importing so much from abroad, which goes to the president's trade agenda?
I'm in big trouble.
Yes, you are.
I love that guy. I don't always agree with him, but that's kind of the nature of it. That guy, he's earned his right to pretty much have his position.
Oh, certainly.
Seems like an interest.
But I watch a lot of the TikTok stuff that he does. It's such of a common person. Watch him get off his elliptical and things like that, where he's just sweating his butt off. And he, he'll tell you, my assistant said I need to come on TikTok once in a while. Well, this is what you get, and it's great.
And keeping the political theater going.
Theater?
We have United States Senator, I think you know who she is, Katie Britt.
Oh, I've met her.
And this was at, I've met her too. This is in front of Pete Hegseth. This is when he was there earlier this week asking for money.
Yeah.
Let's listen in. This
Okay.
is Senator Britt making her point about funding and national security.
I would have to think that the dysfunction of this body, whether it's the full shutdown, a partial shutdown, not being able to pass NDAA, not being able to pass FISA, I would have to think that our adversaries look at that and it gives them a little bit more credence as to what they're doing abroad. Can either one of you comment on that?
Thank you, Senator. That's why I've said, and I will continue to say, that the inability to properly fund this department, the Department of War, is probably the single greatest threat our nation faces. Whether or not we will make a generational investment in not just winning the wars currently, but deterring the wars of the future, given the step change in technology of this moment and the underfunding of the previous administration. You didn't mention continuing resolutions, which is a whole nother way our department has foolishly budgeted. So I appreciate you highlighting that. It's very true.
I would have to think that the dysfunction of this body, whether it's the full shutdown, a partial shutdown, not being able to pass NDAA.
Eddie, you're getting a kick out of her hand motion?
Yeah, who's that basketball player, Sophie, whatever?
Sophie Cunningham.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago she did that. I've noticed it's catching on.
Oh, yeah. No, and then she did the little bird.
Oh, yeah.
Like the
Well, to the
bird
point
peck.
that Hegseth felt like he needed to return sign signals back with.
Like, let me catch that energy. Give it right back to you.
Right.
Speaking of Sophie Cunningham, and in fact, Senator Britt was highlighting this, Sophie Cunningham shuts down reporter over her stance on transgender athletes in women's sports. Indiana Fever shooting guard and team enforcer Sophie Cunningham is making the rounds, first becoming a viral sensation with her pointing.
I loved it.
From a June 24th game against the Phoenix Mercury. She and Dawana Bonner got into it on a tense fourth quarter filled with technical fouls and drama. Cunningham's pointing and trolling of Bonner has become a fan favorite staple. Yet she has now angered progressive audiences by rightly claiming that transgenders shouldn't be allowed to compete in women's sports.
You know why? Because she's not a dude, Joey.
The funny part is that this isn't a controversial topic since 70% of Americans agree. That side lost the plot.
Yep.
With faces of the movement appearing too unhinged, too moronic, too stupid, and prone to public collapses. This is America. People will disagree, and if you can't handle that, you should do something else. Cunningham was asked about her stance at a pregame press conference when she shut down a reporter trying to stir the pot. She struck a sensible tone, adding that she's not political and everyone is deserving of love and respect, but there are the rights of biological women that must be protected.
Yes.
Well, there you go. There you go.
Because she's not a dude.
It really is a 70%. I think it's more than that.
I think it's more than that, too.
Like, it's just kind of bonkers that that's where we're at. And there are people still pushing that at this.
Oh, yeah, but it's gotten quieter. It's a bit of a losing battle now, but or as I see it anyway. But, yeah, there's still a lot of push there.
So are we just going to keep bombing Iran and hope for the best?
What we're going to do, Joey, is every day we're going to, that they don't come to the peace table, we're going to take out a bridge.
Yeah.
And then we're going to take out major
Or a power
infrastructure
plant.
Or a power plant.
Near Tehran.
We're going to punish the people and, hope for the best. It kind of bothers me about this. This is, to me, like COVID with Trump.
Yeah.
All them stupid things he got caught in, and
Yeah. Operation Warp Speed.
it just
Now, here is Marco Rubio essentially saying what you just said, Eddie. Let's listen in.
Arachi, their foreign minister, who the other day say or something about their policies, an eye for an eye. The president's policy is a head for an eye. I mean, honestly.
The president's policy is a head for an eye.
That's,
yeah.
You have the power.
When you have the bigger weapon,
yeah.
Why not go in that direction? I don't know. So here, you want to hear some of the spin?
Sure.
Because
I do love spin.
Because we're past the 4th of July,
Yeah.
but this is what you do: you jump on the Fox News,
okay,
and you bring out the big guns. Bring out Stephen Miller.
Mm-hmm.
Have the bald man who cocks his head every time he
Yep.
makes a point.
Ding.
Really put it to where the boomer cons can get it. Let's listen.
When it comes to the president's strategy against Iran, he's made it clear.
What show should we do it on? Hannity. Who else?
That he will consider and pursue any and every option necessary to achieve America's objective of ending the Iranian nuclear threat once and for all. Sean, you perhaps more than any other has covered how for 47 years this regime operated with bloody impunity.
Yes.
They murdered Americans, they tortured dissidents, they engaged in proxy terrorism across the region, across the globe, and of course they're responsible for the roadside bombs that left so many of our bravest mortally wounded and terribly disfigured. Everyone wanted to push this problem aside, and of course Obama, worst of all, funded, empowered, enabled, and led to the rise of the Iranian regime as a hegemony. President Trump is the only American president who's had the courage and the foresight and the willingness to take this threat head on and to say, we're not going to shove it aside. We're not going to let this threat go. We're not going to wake up in a morning where Iran has a nuclear weapon and the capacity to use it against American citizens. We're going to deal with this here. We're going to deal with it now, and we're going to do whatever it takes. And the results have been very clear. The regime has been eviscerated militarily, financially, politically, in every possible way. And that off-ramp's there anytime they want it to make a deal and to honor and abide by that deal. But if they think they can cross America and get away with it, they and everyone watching around the world is learned a very clear lesson about America and President Trump, Sean.
So, just sit back and relax and stop chirping, and it'll work out great, right?
No.
Where was gas at when you looked at it?
Well, it went up again today. It was what I give yesterday, 367 or 370 something. I heard it's going to go up again today, over $90 a barrel.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate it, but that's the barometer I have to use for this war. I can't. It's not that I don't trust our president, and I don't trust most of the news press, but that's the only thing that affects me. That's how I can directly tell every day how the war's going.
And now there's this other thing that's going on with the Trump administration where, there's a guy who's a really good spokesman, been friends with Trump. He's got charisma for days. Friends with Trump for 30-something. They used to chase girls together.
Nice.
As he put it. And he's talking about how America will lead the next generation of space commerce. And you're like, that's actually kind of a cool idea. We really are commercializing space in a way to where it's going to create new products, probably going to produce vast amounts of energy. Better telecommunications networks, yada, 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 yada. But then as I started watching this, I'm like, oh, man, he went to the island. But just that once. Anyway, here's Howard Lutnick.
At the Department of Commerce, it's time to be bold. And the place to be bold is space. Space, of course, we all know it's the final frontier, but it's the greatest opportunity for American innovation that remains.
From using that score from Interstellar.
Why does he remind me of Harvey Weinstein so bad? That's just the vibe I get.
First crew who walked on the moon.
They've got the flag up now, and you can see the stars and stripes.
To our International Space Station and Space Shuttle, the American space sector has always moved at the speed of innovation.
Huge opportunity. It's going to be a multi-trillion-dollar industry, and the Department of Commerce is going to lead the way.
Yeah. Actually, I think if anybody's going to lead the way, it'll be Elon Musk.
Yes, I agree with you on that.
I just hope the Department of Commerce gets out of the way.
That's my hope.
Yeah. But speaking of space and stuff.
Space.
It was a refreshing thing to see that, Jarek Isaacman, the guy with the real big ears.
Yeah, he hears
Trump's like, he hears
He hears
everything.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, in the middle of praising astronauts and praising Isaacman, Trump has to make a big ear joke at the guy.
Can you help it? They dude's got huge ears.
But apparently, NASA's administrator, Jared Isaacman, spoke to an influential group of House Republicans on Wednesday, but he didn't make a pitch for more money when he walked through his agency's ambitious plans for space. He literally said, quote, "I'm not here asking for money."
That's usually right before they ask for money.
Usually, but he's actually like, no, we're good.
Interesting.
Huh.
Interesting.
Isaacman's reassurances come as NASA juggles a number of high-profile missions in the next few years, including returning humans to the moon, building a new Mars spacecraft, and a lunar outpost. The NASA administrator had been set to speak to the group earlier in the year, but that meeting was canceled because of scheduling issues. Isaacman has said in the past that the agency does not have a top-line problem, pointing to the nearly $25 billion Congress gave the agency in 2026, plus $10 billion in the reconciliation package passed last year. He pointed to the GOP mega bill as helping NASA boost its space exploration endeavors, according to 3 members in the room who, like others, were granted anonymity to discuss the internal meeting. The White House proposed a 25% cut to NASA's budget in its 2027 request, but House appropriators have already released a draft bill that would restore the agency's top line to its current level. So it actually sounds like Isaacman and the people at the White House are like, we don't even need as much money as you're giving us.
Put their own guy in there.
But no, that's interesting to see like the head of an agency going, no, we got enough money.
That's a first, as far as I can remember, Joey. That's a first.
Yeah, that caught me off guard. I was like, well, something new every day. This part of the program brought to you, folks, by Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group. And there at the Goodson Group, Bo and his team are ready to help you, whether you're looking to buy or sell property. Could be land, could be a house here in the Montgomery and surrounding areas. Bo's been working in the Riva region real estate market for about half a century now. And not only at the Goodson Group can they help you with buying and selling property, it can have you managed when it comes to your rental. They can manage that rental property for you. If you're considering converting your house to a rental, I would suggest don't do it yourself. I would suggest get a great management company with management services like the Goodson Group. They can manage that rental for you, still be a performing asset. So check them out today. You can always go to thegoodsongroup.com or give them a call at 551-0225. That's 551-0225. Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group, great sponsor here of the program. We'll be right back after this.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
We get a lot of questions about what all we handle at Hannah and Eddie Realty Group. I'm Hannah Grantham.
And I'm Eddie Bader, and we will handle all of your real estate needs.
We handle all your buying and selling needs, from your first home, next home, land, investment property, and even commercial properties.
We do it all and have the experience that shows you what makes us different.
So when you think real estate, think Hannah and Eddie Realty Group. Look us up on Facebook or give us a call at 334-368-6358. And let us show you who you have on your sign matters.
We're talking with Dr. Clark McLemore at McLemore Dentistry Implant Day coming up on Wednesday, July 29th.
This will be the 3rd year that we've done Implant Day. It is a phenomenal opportunity for big savings and a lot of fun, actually. Most people don't associate the dentist office with being fun, but it is a fun day. We have a lot of giveaways. It's a great opportunity to come talk, let us see what kind of solutions are available, and save a bunch of money.
Book your spot today. Call 277-9570 or visit drmclemordentistry.com.
This is your roving reporter, and today I'm talking with a political activist.
That's right, man.
And could you please explain to us your red cap with the letters MMRGA?
Yeah, man, this is my MARGA hat.
MARGA?
Yeah, man, that stands for Make My Retirement Great Again.
I see.
And to do that, what you need to do is call David Ernest,
the asset preservationist.
That's right, man. You can call David at 833 833-596-7233. That's 833-596-SAFE.
And I understand that's a toll-free number.
Yeah, man. Get David Ernest on the case, and your retirement will be great again.
And you make these hats.
I do. Here's a whole pile left from the last administration.
And they say CPWABD.
Yeah, man. Corn Pop was a bad dude.
And as you said, there's a whole pile here.
Well, there wasn't much demand.
I can dig it.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
Welcome to Eclectic Coins, Montgomery's largest coin dealer, specializing in buying and selling investment-grade gold and silver coins. And they have a large selection of rare coins and coins from around the world. Visit them at 543 Northeastern Boulevard or on the web at eclecticcoins.com. Eclectic Coins, where collectors who know go.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson with the Goodson Group with your Real Estate Minute. Here are several ways to attract more buyers to your home. First, price it right to sell, not to sit. An accurate market analysis will tell you what price it should be. Next, prepare the home to show and sell by deep cleaning by a professional cleaner, including carpet. Declutter all rooms, including closets. Evaluate flooring, replace if needed. Paint inside and out where needed, and make the kitchen and bath sparkle. How about the exterior? Are the colors faded on the shutters or fascia? Power washing them and all sidewalks and driveways and patios prior to listing the house. Remember, your price and curb appeal will create a showing appointment. Your condition of the house will make them stay and look longer and buy quicker. For all the steps you need to take to get your house ready for sale, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group, 334-221-2883 or 334-551-0225.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. It's an all too familiar forecast with triple-digit heat indices again today. There will be scattered random cooling showers for some lucky towns, but many towns get skipped. The actual high temperature today up to about 93 will be in the mid-70s tonight, and not much change Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Highs in the low to mid-90s, triple-digit heat indices, scattered random mostly afternoon and evening showers and storms. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
When the heat hits to the river region, don't wait. If your AC quits, Hands Heating and Air offers same-day service, or your diagnostic charge is free with their Comfort a Day or You Don't Pay guarantee, plus 24/7 service with no overtime charges.
The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. I'm here with Joey Clark. Eddie Vader in the studio with me. This part of the program brought to you by Josh and Leslie Ryder. They're at Dillon Rings. And at Dillon Rings, they're ready to help you with any and all of your jewelry needs. And of course, they do custom work.
Yes.
Josh the jeweler there can do incredible work. In fact, this Sacred Heart of Jesus that I have around my neck right now, he created this pendant for me with rose gold, red enamel, like created a crown of thorns out of the rose gold, pressing down into the heart. And, he did a good job.
You kind of just went to him and said, "Hey, this is what I'm looking to do," right?
No, and it is it's traditional sacred art. So I had a lot of things I could show him, like that it could be derivative of, and he was able to put it together.
Excellent.
And it was so easy working with Josh. And so, if you want to see one of his latest breathtaking pieces,
looking at it now.
This Alexandrite center stone.
That looks amazing.
Shows off the iconic color shift magic but paired with sparkling diamond accents. It's handcrafted by Jossa Jeweler there at Dillon Rings, a one-of-a-kind ring ready to make someone's heart skip a beat.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's really, really cool.
It looks like the lady in the movie Titanic. It looks like something she would have worn. They're beautiful.
Whether you're dreaming of your own custom piece or love unique, responsibly made fine jewelry, they're there at Dillon Rings to bring your vision to life. So just get by there. 119 Brown Springs Road here in Montgomery, just off Atlanta Highway. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. And of course, we'll tell you more about Dillon Rings coming up because they do a lot more than just custom design work.
Yeah.
Great inventory. They can do spa treatments. They can do repairs.
Repairs, baby.
Watch, like battery replacements on the watch. We can do it all. We'll tell you more about them a little later. Now, I'm looking at another trending story at 1819news.com.
All right.
And the headline from April Marie Fogel is Toxically Fraternal. 2 former LGBTQ students sue Auburn for a, quote, sex-based hostile environment.
Okay.
Auburn University is being sued over accusations that staff within the College of Forestry, Wildlife, and Environment, CFWE, ran the Inventory and Conservation Planning Project, which Auburn refers to as its ICP2 program, like a quote-unquote frat house. The complaint describes how Caitlin Connolly, a lesbian, and Marlene Mars Walters, who identifies as a non-binary transgender individual, were 2 vulnerable students, quote-unquote, who found themselves surrounded by heterosexuals who did not comport themselves in a way they found appropriate. Walters, the non-binary person who goes by the name Mars, a former collegiate female athlete at UGA, now asks that others refer to her using they, them pronouns. Images on the Auburn CFWE social media pages routinely show incredible opportunities for students beyond the classroom. Photos of students and teaching staff outdoors, hunting, climbing, canoeing, camping, and even collaring bears.
Cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Can all be found. The 2 young women felt the program supervisor, Jonathan Valente, didn't do his part to stifle the First Amendment rights of others in group settings. That's a good sentence, April Marie.
Yeah.
Allowing it to become a quote-unquote hostile to them, environment to them based on their gender and LGBTQ plus status. Both of them felt that the predominantly male project, which often featured field trips and overnight visits, took on too much of a quote-unquote frat house atmosphere. A number of the male participants in the program engaged in sexual banter about women they knew or were dating. And Valente sometimes joined in the, what is that, ribald humor. I don't know that word. Probably saying it wrong. Making jokes about sexual activity and male genitalia. Well, you ever known a fella hanging out with another fella making a joke about his penis?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Ever since like 2nd grade.
Yeah, we do that on the public airwaves.
Right.
Often. The case centers on allegations that they, quote, experienced a culture that was at times overtly sexualized, where a male supervisor openly touted a sexual relationship with a female research assistant, and sex jokes were ubiquitous, and at other times toxically fraternal. As non-heterosexuals, Connolly and Walters took the fixation on sexual dalliance by their male counterparts as marginalizing, the lawsuit states. Walters particularly felt shunned and isolated as a person whose sexual identity was non-binary. How can I shun you when I don't even know what it means? Walters also noticed that her supervisor, quote, seemed uncomfortable in her presence and uninterested in the collaboration and mentorship that Auburn expects of an academic advisory relationship. She went on to say that from her perspective, Valente, quote, related their relationship to an employer-employee dynamic. Conley and Walters also noted in their filing that Valente routinely doubted their competence.
I got to be honest. I don't know these women, but I could see that.
After a disagreement, that Walters described as a loud verbal exchange. You mean a fight?
I don't think so.
Like big argument?
I don't think so.
Or is more like, what do we talk about? Loud verbal exchange.
I'm guessing he probably told her no. That's the dumbest question I've ever heard anybody ask me before.
Mm-hmm. But after a disagreement that Walters described as a quote unquote loud verbal exchange with Valente, Walters left the program. Walters was jarred by the interaction and fell into a state of depression and anxiety, like that didn't already exist, that required counseling and treatment from Auburn's mental health services unit and a psychiatrist.
Wait till she gets in the real world.
Several months later, Connolly, along with 3 others, including a husband and wife pair, Christopher Lepzik and Jean Fanto Lepzik, CZYK. Got Polacks over at Auburn?
I guess so.
And another instructor, Robert Gitson, decided to report their concerns with the quote-unquote work environment to the university. The complaint specifically identified sexual banter and language, as well as a relationship they deemed inappropriate and the, quote, belittling treatment of both Connolly and Walters as their main concerns. The complaints from the 4 poured in for months, with the lawsuit detailing how the 4 went from office to office, held meetings with deans, assistant deans, the general counsel's office, and multiple other offices, seemingly bypassing normal procedures to spread their allegations far and wide while risking reputational harm to the program, university, and all involved. I wonder if a countersuit's coming.
You think?
In November 2024, the Alabama Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, an official partner with the ICP2 program, notified Auburn that it was considering pulling its support for the project on the grounds of quote-unquote personnel concerns. This letter allegedly led to the 4 of them being removed from the ICP2 project and ultimately Connolly leaving the PhD program. They are all now alleging retaliation for their complaints. Auburn has not replied to the suit.
So basically, they complained.
They got outed, boosted, like, go, leave.
And
You don't like it here, you don't go away.
Right. No, you're going to accept me anyway, and you're going to do things the way I want it done. No. She's got mental problems now, man. Just wait. And by the way,
have you no sympathy, Eddie? Have you no empathy?
I have more empathy. You know,
I
have
know
issues with that.
Almost too much.
People like this, it drives me insane.
And especially when it's always couched in this generic. It was sexual comment, making jokes about sexual activity in male genitalia. Well, then what exactly did they say?
Well, regardless, I've been around, and you know me, I'll drop a bad joke at a bad time. But
yes, you will.
I've been around other people that do that, and if I don't like what they say, I just go elsewhere.
Yeah, I'm not going to sue you.
Right. That's, if anything, I'm kind of showing you what a Karen I am to sue you, and that's ridiculous. But I think this should follow them, because if I'm ever thinking about hiring these 2, I want to know what they've already done, and no, I don't need that kind of deception or anything in my organization. So good luck.
Anyway, I appreciite that reporting from April Marie.
That was a good one.
Another great report on the college university beat that April Marie's working. 272-9228.
Hey, you think she'll take us to some frat parties?
No, I don't want. That's like the last place I want to go these days, man. You want to relive like the frat boy experience?
No, that was last Monday.
Indeed, it was for you. Y'all be careful about day drinking.
Good point, Joey.
Y'all be careful about that. Like, you better have no plans. Like, maybe like a central location, like a beach house or something, if you're going to be day drinking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or a resort.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the way to do it.
Doesn't just need to be downtown.
No, it doesn't need just to be a random Monday.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Because who knows who you're going to run into and offend?
God knows who you might run into.
Right. They might sue you.
And then you're going to see him again when you're sober and go, why does this person hate me?
All right. Yeah. Well, he made ribald jokes.
Several.
He's such a bawdy individual.
Pretty bawdy.
You mean he's a dirty dog? Anyway, this part of the program brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage.
Oh, yes.
And they're at Alabama Home Mortgage. Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon are ready to help you out with buying a home,
Or you want to do some refinancing.
Or refinancing.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good idea. It could be you're really kind of strapped for cash, like you need help with your retirement fund or you got a lot of credit card debt.
Right.
But it also could be like you're fine, but you want to upgrade the property.
That's a really good idea.
Or you're fine, but you want to go on that 2-3 week river cruise through Europe.
Yes.
And you've always wanted to do something with the wife.
Mm-hmm.
And like that is a great idea. And you don't have that, you're not that liquid.
Right.
But you got all this hundreds of thousands of equity built up in your house.
Sure do.
They'll help you whatever your goal is.
Sure will.
And if you're a veteran, they specialize in helping veterans take advantage of the VA mortgage, which you veterans earned through your service. Don't leave money on the table.
Nope.
It really is the best deal. What you're talking like no down payment purchases,
Right.
100% refinance and cash
Refi,
out.
That's what I'm talking about, Joey.
Whew. So check them out today. Just start up the conversation. You don't have to pull the trigger tomorrow. You don't just get the ball moving, get the conversation started at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or you can always apply online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies like Kim and Madeline. Prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368 at Equal Housing Lender.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Lowe's knows to bring your vision to life, it's important to find the right color. That's why My Lowe's Rewards members get a free paint or exterior stain sample to test your look and find the perfect color to confidently refresh your space. Lowe's, we help, you save. Offer valid in-store only 5/8 through 5/14. Limit 1 per customer while supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See associate for details. Program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Tired of spending your weekends fighting weeds, patchy grass, and a mower that never starts? Mosley Lawn Pros is the solution. They handle residential and commercial lawn maintenance, landscaping, cleanups, and property care so you don't have to. They show up on time, do the job right, and leave your lawn looking sharp every time. Stop stressing over your yard and start loving it. When it comes to your lawn, call the crew your neighbors and local businesses trust. One call, one crew, problem solved. Mosley Lawn Pros, built on hard work, driven by quality. Find them today on Facebook or Google.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Phones and talk to Eric the dog. Hey, Eric. How you
What up,
doing?
Eric?
Hola.
Hola.
Hey, I heard somebody talking about, what was it? Inappropriate jokes at bad times, and somebody said dirty dog, and I felt like y'all putting out a bat signal.
Well, a little later in the program, we were about to interview somebody who's running for Congress, will probably be the next congressman here from this area. But later in the program, we have a headline that says, how much we fart in a day, according to science, and which age group is the gassiest?
I think we take bets on that.
Got to be boomers. Got to be boomers.
I think boomers, maybe, wait, is it possibly the silent majority?
It's a silent generation, baby.
Yeah.
Silent but deadly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey,
they won the Cold War.
speaking
Those are actually the ones that won the Cold War.
Yeah, right. By keeping it warm.
Yeah.
Again, Rhett Marcus, candidate for Congress, joining us here in a few minutes.
Hey, is collaring bears a euphemism that I'm not familiar with yet?
I thought the same thing. Like, people keep asking me to go camping, and I don't think it means camping. Collaring bears doesn't help. Let's go camping, Joe. Let's collar some bears.
Especially when there's not that many bears around here, Joey. I mean, there's a few, but I don't know.
Hey, you want to
identifies bears.
You want to go camping up near Titus area and look for some long-tailed big cats?
That sounds very tempting.
As long as they're not of a certain age, you're all right, Joe.
No cougars allowed.
Wow.
Oh, this could go sideways. I'm about to make your point for you.
Now, are you working on a bus?
Yeah.
Now that's a bus.
Now, we don't have time to tell the whole story, but this is it's a really cool thing that you're helping out with.
Well, yeah, the guy, his wife's got the cancer. If you want to, I can give you his phone number. You can get in touch with him and figure out if you want to do an interview with him or not. I know he'd be stoked to do it.
Yeah,
he's looking for volunteers and donations and stuff. And
essentially, he found out his wife found out that she has stage 4 breast cancer, and so they're planning on doing. They've always wanted to do this road trip, and so they're converting this old school bus into a big pink bus saying "Where's JoJo now?" and they're planning on doing this road trip.
Yeah, they're doing a big road trip from Atlanta to Florida. They're going to some bowl games. There's a whole bunch of stuff. I'm probably going to help finish tinting windows, and then Saturday we're going to have a standing party. If you know how to operate a DA, or you aren't objected to being instructed how to operate a DA, and you want to help and you want to do some masking, get in touch with Joe, or you can find me on Facebook.
Are you talking about a district attorney?
Where's JoJo? No.
Oh.
No, not that sort of DA. You dirty dog.
You dirty dog.
I wonder how many people actually know what you're talking about, Eric.
Probably not very many, which is a very good culling process.
Yeah, oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Well, Eric, I got to run because we do have Rhett Marcus here. I think he's here now.
Yeah.
So,
tell him I
said,
hola.
I will.
See you, dog.
Adios.
Adios.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. Are we headed toward another possible government shutdown at the end of September? Well, the next major government-wide funding deadline comes then as the end of fiscal 2026 arrives and the start of fiscal year 2027 kicks in. The real question, according to the White House, is whether Democrats plan to try to orchestrate another government shutdown. In the interim, Congress is supposed to pass 12 annual appropriations bills, and there's a lot of reasons to believe that may not happen. Republicans in Congress continue to back the Iran war despite the political risk. The potential political peril has only grown in recent days, but GOP lawmakers say they want more information from President Trump, but still support the fact that he went to war with Iran in spite of the higher gas prices right now. On Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrial Average and the other major indexes are struggling. The Dow is off 576, the Nasdaq down 582 points. This is SRN News.
Hi, I'm Kirk Cameron. Christian Healthcare Ministries is not another health insurance policy. If you're tired of year-long contracts and pointless restrictions, CHM offers anytime enrollment on your schedule and at your convenience. With CHM, you're paying half the cost of a traditional health insurance plan. So that puts more money back into your budget for everyday needs. Plus, you'll have access to CHM's care solutions for virtual appointments, prescription savings, surgery support, and more. My family and I joined in 2018, and it's changed our lives for the better. We love paying way less while helping other believers afford their medical bills. Take the leap of faith and see why Christians across the nation are better with CHM.
Get started by calling 1-833-JOIN-CHM and use promo code WELLNESS for a 50% credit towards your first month. That's 1-833-JOIN-CHM and use promo code WELLNESS.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber, now open from 6 to 5. It's more than just great prices on lumber. From Trex decking to energy-efficient windows and Tamco shingles, Alabama Wholesale Lumber has it all.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. It's an all too familiar forecast with triple-digit heat indices again today. There will be scattered random cooling showers for some lucky towns, but many towns get skipped. The actual high temperature today up to about 93 will be in the mid-70s tonight, and not much change Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Highs in the low to mid-90s, triple-digit heat indices, scattered random mostly afternoon and evening showers and storms. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
1819 News.
The threat of legal action against the city of Bessemer has now prompted the release of a non-disclosure agreement that the city council signed with developers of a data center called Project Marvel. The details of that non-disclosure agreement show that the city agreed to destroy certain records upon the developer's request. That developer is Logistics Land Development out of Georgia. They're seeking to build on 1,600 acres of land in Bessemer to create this data center. Attorneys for the Southern Environmental Law Center sought the documents on behalf of Alabama Rivers Alliance, who are opposed to this development. Charles Miller is with the Alabama Rivers Alliance and told 1819 News that he was shocked to find out that elected officials would sign an NDA with private developers. The confidential information that the city council agreed to destroy involved customers, affiliates, suppliers, internal practices, sales, financial information, and much more. Miller points out that agreeing to destroy such documentation is in direct opposition to Alabama law. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Some of the greatest blessings is just having people that care about you, to have someone that's just going to love you and make you feel important. They encourage you to be in church. They encourage you to be in prayer. They encourage you to be in your Bible. Now it's a part of my day every day. My house parents planted seeds in me that you can see where those seeds have sprouted in my life and helped change my life.
Big Oak Ranch, a Christian home for children needing a chance.
The mayor of Pritchard, Carletta Davis, has released a statement following multiple indictments of officers within the Pritchard Police Department, including the police chief, Walter Knight, that occurred this week. Davis says she wants the residents of that city to know that city leadership will take every step necessary to ensure that residents receive professional, ethical public safety services. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
What are you getting? Still deciding, but I do know on August 11th, I'm choosing Rhett Marcus for Congress.
Why Rhett Marcus?
Because he's a true conservative, endorsed by President Trump and Senator Katie Britt.
Oh, then you can trust him.
And he's a small business owner, not a politician.
Sounds like this choice on August 11th is the easiest decision we'll ever make.
Remember to vote on August 11th. I'm Rhett Marcus, the Trump-endorsed candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Rhett for Alabama.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader is still in the studio with me. And as promised, we have right across the desk with us candidate for Congress, running in the new District 2 that's a lot like the old District 2.
That's exactly right.
Rhett Marcus.
Old.
How you doing, Rhett?
I'm doing very well. Thank y'all for having me.
Good to be in here.
Yes, sir.
And so first off, like, I don't know you. We just met.
Sure.
And I want to put it this way. I went from like one of the most, if like he could argue, maybe the most conservative congressman. Like Barry Moore had this incredible score, Freedom Caucus guy. I think you know Barry.
Oh, yeah.
Very well. And so I go from Barry to Shamari Figures, who was like right-hand man to Eric Holder.
Right.
And I'm like, what is this whiplash? So now that we're back to the older district, I'm wondering, who am I going to get as somebody who lives in this district?
Well, I tell you what, I really appreciate y'all having me on. And I'm a simple guy. I owned a small business in the Wiregrass for 24 years. It was a tire and automotive service center, and I sold it in 2023, raised 2 daughters in enterprise, and been married for 32 years. But, you know, it all comes back to giving back to the communities. And when you own a small business, you really become part of the community. Yeah. And, you know, I started off with Chamber of Commerce and then a city council member. And then 8 years ago, ran for the State House and became and as a matter of fact, Barry, it was because of Congressman Rohr running for Congress, and it opened up a seat. And one of the first people that Christina and I, my wife, met was Barry and Heather when we got to Enterprise, and he owned a small business there, and also but you know, it was 8 years ago, he ran for Congress, and I ran for the state, the state house, and became a state representative then. And I just love serving the people, not only of Coffee County and that district, but also the people of the state. It's a great state.
Well, and I'm wondering, isn't our soon-to-be senior senator, currently junior senator, from Enterprise? And I heard some of those at the Coffee County
She
Republican Women group, like, some of these ladies saying, sit down and hush.
Not to me.
Not to you, but I'm like, is there like an Enterprise mafia going on here? What is
Well,
that?
I have, you can't talk about things like that.
That's right. First rule.
No, Senator Brett is, she is a product of Enterprise. So she is a 5th or 6th generation Coffee County, and having a small business there, her dad actually had his boat business right down the street, about a quarter of a mile. So we did business very early on and became quick friends. And at that time, Katie was graduating high school, going to the University of Alabama. So I didn't really know her as much as her younger sisters that came in, but her dad and mom became good friends. But Senator Brett has done a fantastic job. She hasn't lived in Enterprise since she was 18 years old, when she went to college and on. But she is a product of Enterprise, and very proud to be. If you ask her, I'm sure y'all have, she will tell you she is very proud to be from Enterprise.
Yep.
And I'm proud to call her a friend. Her and Wesley both are dear friends to Christina and I, and proud to say that I know her.
Well, and she has not endorsed a lot of folks around the state this cycle, but
Correct.
she did endorse you outright very early.
Right out of the gate. And and that said, that really helped us get off to this quick start. She put us in front of people that I didn't know. Obviously, having that relationship in the state house really helped. And when she was with BCA as the president of BCA, we worked together quite a bit on projects and et cetera. And again, it goes back to building relationships, and I am very proud to say that she has that much confidence in me. You can see what she's doing in Washington and what she has done for the state of Alabama. And, people may say, well, golly, she did this just to, hey, I'm not going to back off the fact that I'm her friend, and I am very proud to have her support.
You're here. Now, you also got the endorsement of the President of the United States.
I did.
How does
That
one
was
come by a
crazy.
Trump endorsement?
Well, that is a great question. And it took 10 plus months of work. And obviously Senator Brett had a lot to do with that, in the sense that, she introduced me to people in Washington that I had to go sit down. His political team, had to talk to them a couple of times. Different people at the RNC, and a number of congressmen, to make sure that, the leadership in Congress, Speaker Johnson, his team, Leader Scalise and his team. And it was not an overnight deal. And, but the fact that when that is a surreal moment, to get a call and say, you've just been endorsed by the President of the United States. That's one of those days that I will not forget. And I can tell my grandkids about, going, you're not going to believe this.
Right.
So this kid from Spanish Fort, Alabama, just got called from the White House and said that he was endorsed by the president. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Again, folks, we're talking to Rep Marcus. He's running for Congress to be the Republican nominee, and the upcoming special election is August the 11th. Correct?
That's correct. And that, I'm glad you asked that and brought up August 11th, because it's not a date that people are used to going to vote. And if you look at what the turnout has been in this state over the last, really, not just this year, but in the last couple of years, it has been just pitiful.
It's dismal.
I mean, dismal. I mean,
I agree 1,000%.
This year, May 19th, it was 23.6%, and the runoff was 10.7%. And that is, I mean, we unfortunately had 4 United States soldiers come home yesterday that gave the ultimate sacrifice. And we have people dying to defend this country and give us the rights to go vote, and people are not doing that. I just don't understand. I really don't. Whether they vote for me, obviously I want them to vote for me, obviously, but just go vote. I mean, get out and tell your friends, neighbors, and your family members to go vote. I mean, there's people who are putting it on the line.
Yep.
And have for the last 250 years to give us that right, and we should honor that by going to vote. But August 11th, I'm sorry, I interrupted. Go ahead.
No, again, folks, it is August the 11th, and you're right. There are a lot of folks, I think, they're on summer vacation or it's not a normal cycle. Right. And this redistricting is a truly unique moment in our political history.
That one's going to go down in the books. I guarantee if it ever happens again, I just can't imagine it. That was the craziest, time. But the right thing happened. I mean, this is the way the district should have laid.
Right.
And I was proud to run for the 1st Congressional District because I grew up in Baldwin County, lived in the Wiregrass. I knew both sides. I was really working, and I think we were right on the path, the right path to win that seat. And I would have been honored. But ultimately, the cultural differences and everything else, the Supreme Court made the right decision.
Now, and as we continue this conversation, if folks want to look at things with their own eyeballs, is there a website they can go to?
Yes, sir. retforalabama.com. And also, they can email us at retforalabama@gmail.com. And of course, there's social media that. You know how that works, Facebook or whatever. I don't have Twitter. I don't have all the Instagrams and all
probably
that.
To your credit.
But there's people who do, who look at that for us. I try not to.
Now, I often ask, especially folks their first time running for a political office, why do this to yourself? But I'd imagine there is a moment, because was the first time you ran for political office that 2018 when you
actually it was a city council in 2012.
Okay,
yeah.
So. How did you get interested and be I want to be on the city council? I want to be in the state legislature.
Yeah, again, I go back to owning a small business. You really become part of the community, and it was not. This isn't something. The political thing is not something when I was 6 years old said, "By gosh, one day I'm going to be a congressman," or what. This is not. That's not how it worked for me. But there's some. Excuse me. There were some business leaders in Enterprise said we need some business leaders in the city council.
Definitely.
And you signed the front of the paycheck, not just the back of the paycheck,
right.
And that kind of means something. And so I did, and I won. And I didn't know really what I was getting into when I did it. I'll be honest. It was kind of one of those things where. Head on a swivel, and you kind of am I really cut out for this? But, serving, I owned a retail store, and politics is a lot like a retail store. It's about service. Mm-hmm. If you don't take care of your customers, if you don't take care of the employees around you, if you don't take care of you're not going to succeed. You're not going to make it. And so, I found out that politics was a lot like that, building relationships, doing the right thing for the right reason. Mm-hmm. It's not about you. It's about giving back to the people.
Now, as you get into the Alabama legislature, and I think there's a lot from having that experience in a legislative body we can get to in a second, but of course, it means you have a voting record.
Absolutely.
There. And one that a bunch of people asked me to ask about is, and I'll just ask it simply, why did you vote for the gas tax in 2019?
Well, that's a great question. And I that was the first vote I ever took as a state representative. Actually, the first vote was to make sure that it was directed to the right places, which is roads, bridges, etc. That was the first vote, to use the money correctly. The second vote was to pass it. But that goes back not only to my city council days of having to pave streets and finding out how much money it costs to do that, mm-hmm. and how you got to, if you're either going to either borrow the money or you're going to have to pay your way in doing it. So in 2017, at the end of 2017, President Trump had the National Infrastructure Act that he was trying to pass in Congress. And he went to the states and he asked the states to make sure that they had the funds available to have the matching funds of, when the National Infrastructure Act passed, So when that federal dollar came in, there were state dollars there to help go ahead and pave the roads. Well, ultimately, that act did not pass. He couldn't get the Republicans on board to pass it, and which is one reason why I'm going to Washington D.C. to help him pass his agenda. But that's down the road. But so he went to the states. And at the time, Governor Ivey, she, in her to her credit, she took the bull by the horns, which, as y'all know, she does. She does, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to put this package together, and it started off at 16 cents and came down and negotiated out to 10 cents. And we had a choice. We could follow the lead of the president and go with, try to pass his agenda, or we could borrow money so our grandkids could pay for it, because one way or the other, you got to pave the roads. You got to have infrastructure. You got a 4-lane I-65. You got to do these things. You cannot let potholes and everything go. We were having traffic backed up. The Truckers Association was behind it. You would think, well, truckers are the ones that use diesel and use fuel the most. Why would they be for it? Because every time they get stuck in a traffic jam, it's costing them money. So Governor Ivey came to the legislature, and I was going in, and we were told as we were going in, hey, this is coming. Mm-hmm. And here's the facts. Here's what we're going to do. We don't have the money to match or keep the roads and bridges going. What are you going to do? And you know what? I don't want my grandkids to pay for things that we need to pay for ourselves. So I voted for it. And you know what? It was the best thing that happened to the state. You look at the Port of Mobile. We helped deepen and widen the Port of Mobile, $350 some odd million to that, with the money that Senator Shelby sent down, $600 million. And we were able to, and that port now is the second deepest water port in the Gulf, second fastest growing port in the country. And that has changed the economic landscape of the state. And now we're able to, the counties and the cities can repave their roads with money that is coming to them that they don't have to borrow.
But if in general, and you know this,
sure,
you hear raising taxes, and most folks who are Republican or conservative go, I don't want my taxes raised.
Well, there's two ways of looking at conservative. You can pay your way, or you can borrow the money. And in my book, you pay your way, and you don't borrow the money. And that's, President Reagan did this in the early 80s. He actually passed the national gas tax in the early 80s. And that's exactly what he said. You can be a physical conservative and pay your way, or you can just let your grandkids pay for it down the road and borrow the money. Well, I chose to have the money on and paid now, as opposed to burdening our whoever, grandkids or whoever.
No, well, down the road, say you're in Congress, what would your general tendency be, though? Would you be much like, because a specific gas tax for infrastructure, one thing, but we're talking, Trump and team floated, if the tariffs bring in enough revenue, we can get rid of the income tax.
Well, yeah, and I would be all for getting rid of the income tax. Who wouldn't be? But you have to have funds. Take the state. We passed $1.5 billion in tax cuts. It wasn't. I mean, we cut taxes. We cut the burden on young families by removing sales tax on diapers and formula, removing half the grocery tax, removing burdens on our senior citizens and our veterans and small businesses. And the president did the same thing with the working family tax cut. Largest tax cut in American history he passed. Remove tax on overtime. We did that this session. We did it, and it got sunset, and we did it again this session, up to limited up to the first $1,000 is tax-free. Mm-hmm. The president did it this time. We did it here in the state of Alabama. And my tendency is to cut taxes, cut regulations, cut burdens, and cut taxes. And, when it comes to, if you don't invest in yourself, nobody else is going to invest in you. And the other thing, and the president actually said, you can't have a first world economy with a third world infrastructure. You can't do it. And I just, you know, it was a tough decision, but ultimately it was the right decision. And that's exactly why I'm going to go to Washington, D.C. President Trump saw that was the right decision, and I saw it as the right decision.
Now, and again, folks, we're talking to Red Marcus. He is running to be your next congressman, running for that Republican nomination. That special election is August the 11th, and it's Marcus for Alabama, or excuse me, Rhett for Alabama.
Rhett for Alabama. Nobody can spell Marcus. Nobody can say Marcus. So we just leave it simple at Rhett. Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot easier.
Well, for Alabama.
Rhett for Alabama. Yeah, the other stuff, you know, Marcus, yeah.
Now, I'd imagine that experience, like just you talking about that moment of your first elected coming in, the governor saying to everybody, get in line, let's get this done. You have a lot of experience of what it's like to actually be in a caucus meeting, what it's like to, okay, I'm not the Speaker of the House. I'm not the leader or the whip in these situations. So you understand what it's like to work with others in that sort of legislative session. So for folks out there listening, like if they're going to vote for you, how do you see the job? Like if you get elected to be the congressman from this district, how do you see the job that you're doing kind of day to day?
Yeah, well, taking the experience that you're talking about, taking the experience from what I have now to there.
Sure.
Well, whether it's life or politics or business, it's all about relationships, building those relationships, working with others. And we have done it. I've done it here in the state of Alabama. You know, we have the majority of my colleagues have endorsed me. Speaker Ledbetter endorsed me. And that's because of the fact that I didn't always vote. You know, there was a PSA bill that I voted against them on. There was there's going to be times where you do not vote always with leadership.
Oh wait, this latest PSC bill?
PSC bill, yeah.
You voted against that?
I voted against it.
Oh, I like that a lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes you got to. I mean, you know, you got to see what you feel is you get the information. And, you know, I didn't think it was the thing we needed to do, and so I voted against it. But I told leadership, and I explained to leadership. But that's the thing. You communicate, and to your question, I'm not leaving a team here in the state of Alabama. I'm just building the team and growing the team and working with the Alabama federal delegation, and we have some great members. You know, you mentioned Congressman Moore earlier, soon to be Senator Moore. He's going to do a great job. Senator Britt's doing a great job. Chairman Rogers and Congressman Aderholt and Strong and Jerry Carl is going to win down in Mobile. So we have a great team in place, and I look at doing what's best for this state. And moving not only Alabama first, but America first, and moving the agenda that the president wants and this delegation needs.
Now, because we often talk about the America First stuff, and and the president himself talks about it, what would you consider the Alabama First things in particular for this district and that could end up being on what committees you get on, and what are the sort of things you emphasize that may not make the big headlines, but you really want to work on? Oh,
fantastic question, because of the fact that, you know, this state, this district, 2nd Congressional District specifically, heavy ag. You know, this state of Alabama, $87 billion is the largest economic engine of the state is ag. I'm looking at getting on the ag committee, and because that's going to be huge to make sure that the Farm Bill passes, make sure we take care of our farmers. We're losing 225,000 farms a year in this country. That's unsustainable. We cannot be buying our food from other countries.
Agreed.
That's not the way this is. That is not the way. That is national security, if you ask me.
Yeah.
But you know, farmers are struggling right now. But I applaud the president and the Working Family Tax, which he likes to call the one big beautiful bill. But anyway, moving the death tax, which I don't even know why we have a death tax. It's a double tax.
It is.
But moving it to $15 million per person and $30 million for a family, a couple. Most of these farmers have land, but they don't have cash.
Right.
So they're land poor. So when the tax comes up, they don't have the cash to pay for it,
Right.
and so they have to sell their farm.
That's what happens.
The other thing in the second congressional district is the defense of this country. Second congressional district has 3 bases in it. Maxwell, which is vital to Montgomery, got to keep Maxwell. Got to. You got Fort Benning, which isn't going anywhere, but that's Columbus, Phoenix City, and then Fort Rucker, which is the economic engine of the Wiregrass. We got to keep Fort Rucker in the Wiregrass, and we got to make sure it stays vital. And but a lot of people do not know what's going on in Troy, in Pike County, and that's Lockheed Martin. Lockheed Martin, most of your Javelin and Hellfire missiles are built there. They're about to have a $1.8 billion expansion in Troy, in Pike County, to continue building more missiles. Well, Chairman Rogers does a fantastic job as the chairman of Armed Services, and I would love to fall underneath him and learn and get mentored by him, because the defense of this country is vital for the second congressional district is vital to the defense of this country. But those bases, we cannot lose any of them, and we have got to keep them strong. And we need to keep bringing people like Lockheed Martin down here.
Now, what role, I've been asking everybody this, so I'm not
sure
as much as you want to answer, because it can sometimes be a private affair, but I guess on the general kick of, I would hope.
I can't wait for this.
Well, no, I would hope people in politics these days, and it's starting to happen, are more vocal about their faith when appropriate.
I'm sorry,
their faith.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
The belief in God. And,
yes, absolutely.
And I'm just wondering how it shapes you.
Oh, well, I was a Baptist 9 months before I was born, and I've been going to, but just going to church doesn't make you a Christian.
Right.
And, but I am a believer. I believe, Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior, and I've been a Southern Baptist my whole life, and we are faithful members of Hillcrest Baptist Church and Enterprise, and incidentally, same church as Congressman Moore goes to. And but you were talking about Enterprise earlier and people coming out of there. But anyway, we have a great pastor, a great team down there. But it is everything to me as far as how I look at things. You have moral things and you have just ideological things, and you have but your moral compass is how I think, and I was my parents raised us to have a strong moral compass, tell the truth, do what's right, put others first. I mean, I think that's the biblical basis of our should be for our lives.
Now, and I'm not going to try to be Randy Brinson over here, but I know you are pro-life.
Yes,
because
very,
of that
very
moral
much.
compass.
I was a co-sponsor and passed the strongest pro-life bill in the country.
Yeah, that is now in effect.
That is right now in effect in Alabama.
So
100%.
And folks need to know
very
that.
proud of that, by the way.
Amen. And I don't know. I just reverted back to the faith of my childhood, the Catholic Church, and I know as me being of the world for many years, like a 20-year prodigal son streak, I was always kind of waffling on the abortion question, like, I'm not a woman, and this is cowardly crap like that on my own behalf. And I've started to realize how important it is protecting life. And I think down the road, I think the Alabama Supreme Court all did us a favor with that IVF ruling they did. And I know much of the legislature moved quickly, including with Senator Burke calling the president on making sure IVF is protected. I have friends who have had kids with IVF, but I do worry with where technology is going, like how we really need to, it's not just in the case of a pregnancy, like in the case of any time you are creating an embryo, a human embryo, and creating life, that needs to be protected as strong as we would in the normal circumstances, because I could just see horrors being created out of, it would be a shame to create human life that are essentially harvested like crops. Right.
And I don't believe in genetic whatever, that kind of thing. And I'm not a doctor, but I just believe when a husband and wife have trouble and they can, build a life. And I do believe that life does start at conception, which is, I think what you would say Randy Brinson is. But I also believe that until that fertilized egg is put into the womb of a woman, and that is when it begins, life begins. And so, I think we needed to protect IVF because, it is these people are trying to build a family through them. Now, God gave us a gift, and that is that gift of the mind. And I couldn't conceive of it. I mean, I'm not, that's not me, but, I also do not believe in cloning.
Right. Okay.
So, I mean, I don't believe that we need to be, building test tube babies, etc., or cloning or anything. There is a limit.
All right. I was just push back on your standard that life doesn't begin until it's implanted because of what you just said.
Yeah.
That because you could think of these, I call them horror shows of test tube and all these sorts of
things. Yeah. And I don't, and I draw the line. I mean, but when it comes to IVF, I think, when a man and a woman, husband and wife, hopefully, want to create a life and be of them, and God gave us that mind, and until it's impregnated and put in, I don't know if you call it impregnated, but until it's put in that womb, I see IVF, because not all those eggs are when they are fertilized are viable.
Right.
And I don't understand how that works. I don't even pretend to understand. But I just believe that until it's put in the womb, God knew us when we were in the womb, and I think that means when we're in the womb.
Yeah.
But I can understand how there's some ideological differences.
Oh, sure.
Clear,
well, and also I think it's going to be. I think all of us need to have those principles firm, because the technology constantly is creating crazy things, and if we are fearfully and wonderfully made,
and you are wonderfully made from the egg and the sperm and the egg when it is put into the woman. It is wonderfully made.
Amen. And I don't know, it's one of those topics that lately has just been on my heart and mind. And I'm only bringing it up because I think it's something that should continue to be talked about in public. And given that you are, as you said, a major sponsor of the strongest pro-life.
I wasn't I was a co-sponsor. Yes,
okay.
Sir. Now, Terry Collins and Rich Wingo were the major sponsors.
Okay.
I was a co-sponsor.
But you're a co-sponsor.
I was 100% a co-sponsor on that bill. But, and I can understand. And it is a discussion that we need to have. Yeah. But, it's a good question.
Now, we're pretty much out of time here. And I didn't want to end just on that. I mean, we can keep going if you want to do the whole hour, if you got time.
It's up to you. I'm at your service, sir.
Okay, then stick around, because I got to hit a break is my deal. And we'll keep this going. Because honestly, I don't want to end on that.
Okay. I love it.
But folks, we've been talking with Rhett Marcus, and again, you can go to rhettforalabama.com and Rhett for Alabama on all the social media. And this election is coming up August the 11th, folks. August the 11th. Go, hey, Eddie, did you know it's August the 11th that we're voting?
I honestly didn't know it till yesterday. I honestly didn't know it till yesterday.
Okay, great. Well, see, and that's the problem we're having right now. I mean, we got to get everybody out.
Fun on his jet ski. You should see this guy. He's good at it.
Okay, Joe.
Anyway, this part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health, and they're at Montgomery Men's Health. They're ready to help you fellas out if you don't feel like a fella.
Right.
If you're hitting your 50s, 60s, and you're starting to just feel like not confident.
Don't have that energy.
Don't have energy. And, of course, bedroom issues, no libido to speak of, but also like lacking confidence in stuff you just did around the house and did at work. And now you're like second guessing yourself. What is this?
Yep.
And you fall asleep right after lunch. Your sleep patterns are all off. Well, it very well could be low testosterone.
Mm-hmm.
And here in the Montgomery area, Montgomery Men's Health has been helping men out with those issues for 15 years. So it's kind of become of late like low T problems or the zeitgeist, and there's all these companies cropping up. But Montgomery Men's Health, again, has been doing it for 15 years here in the area. So if you're a guy and you don't feel like a guy and you've tried the pills, they didn't work, you've tried all sorts of other things, go see these folks in person. They can do a consultation and $99 testosterone test, and you can get your numbers in about an hour. Just call them up to make that appointment at 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or you can always book online at montgomerymenshealth.com. Montgomery Men's Health, for every man in every season of life. Tell him that fellow on the radio, Joey, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, But whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com. This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
This is your roving reporter. Today I'm talking with a man from outer space.
What's up, Earthling?
I see you've landed your spacecraft over there in that field.
That's right, man.
My question is, why have you landed here on our planet?
I came to see David Ernest.
The asset preservationist?
Yeah, man. I wanted to see if he would take a look at my portfolio for me.
Well, before you make the trip over there, call him on his toll-free number, 833-596-7233.
And I understand those last 4 digits spell out the word safe.
That is correct.
Funny thing happened the last time I came to Earth.
What was that?
I went to the Walmart, man.
Yes?
And I accidentally went in the back door.
How did that work out?
Well, they stopped me and very gently told me that I needed to go around front and come in.
And then what did you do?
I said, cool, man. Take me to your greeter.
You flew millions of miles just for that.
Hey, man, I don't ride them. I just read them.
We get this question all the time.
Do you handle that?
Buying or selling a home?
Yes.
Commercial?
Yes.
Land or investments?
Absolutely. Hannah and Eddie Realty Group. One team.
Every real estate move. 334-322-0662.
Weather, a service of H&H Carpets, where right now, get a load of this. Listen close. You get a house full of carpet for $19.95 installed. Unbelievable. They're located at 6450 Atlanta Highway, just across from Walmart.
Rich Thomas, what the...
Well, hi, everybody. The risk of a few spotty evening showers and storms will continue, but really only a few towns will be affected. The overnight low temperature tonight falls to about 75. Tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday will do it again. There will be a sun and cloud mix, high temperatures in the low to mid-90s, and triple-digit heat indices, with a generous supply of scattered showers and thunderstorms, mostly in the afternoon and evening hours, but they will be random. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Back to school shopping starts now, and ASC Credit Union has you covered. Our back to school loan helps you pay for supplies, laptops, clothes, and more. Stop by your local ASC branch or apply today at yourasccu.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
The River Region's News Talk Station. News Talk 93.1, WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back, folks. Again, in studio with us, with Eddie and I, we have Rhett Marcus. He is running to be your next congressman. Now, are you ready to take on Shamari Figures if you win this nomination?
Absolutely. You know, and it's a shame that the Democrats want to pick the Republican nominee. I'm sure y'all saw this, and but yes, we are. We're running on August 11th. By the way, it's August 11th.
August 11th.
Yeah, but August 11th, we're running, and then Shamari Figures, and he is he's going to have a lot of money. The Democrats have a lot of money. They're going to send a lot of money this way to keep that seat, and we are going to have to work to win that, not only on November 3rd, but also August 11th, because they are asking the Democrats to come and vote in the Republican primary to pick the person running against Shamari.
Right.
And by the way, it's not me that they want, because they know with President Trump's endorsement and Katie and Senator Brett's that we can beat him.
Right.
And I know we can beat him. And we have the numbers to beat him if the Republicans go out. But if the wrong person is put in that position on August 11th, then we're going to hand the Democrats the seat to keep, and we can't have that.
No, we cannot. So you're not worried about like an AOC appearance? You said the other day you can pull up on the South.
Well, there's no. They don't call me to ask who. The Democrats that are. I would imagine if I were them, I would have probably President Obama come back down here, and he's been here before. And Shamari Congressman Figures got his start with then Senator Obama in Illinois, and stayed with him through the presidency. The fact is that Congressman Figures has lived in Maryland for the last umpteen years, and he does have a residence in Mobile. I'm not saying that he doesn't have a house, so don't hear me going down that road. But he has been a permanent figure in D.C. for a very long time. So I would imagine he has that personal relationship with Obama. So I would imagine that, and I would say they're going to pull out all stops. AOC, Kamala Harris, you never know. But you know what? That's okay. Let them come, because I think that will ignite the Republicans.
Yeah.
To come out and vote, because they know we cannot have a bunch of socialist communists running this country. And I whether he is or he's not, the Democrats are going that direction. And
yes, they are.
And if we give them the control of the House and or the Senate, then we're going to have that socialist. Well, it's not socialist; it's communist. Let's call it what it is. And but we're going to have that communist infiltration into this country that we fought for years to keep out, and now we are ushering it in with Mamdani and all these crazy people up in New York. The guy in Denver, the mayor out in Seattle. I mean, on and on. We have got to get out and vote on August 11th. We have got to put the right person, and I believe that's me, and I think I have the record to prove it. Cutting taxes, putting more money in your pocket, making sure that boys don't play in girls' sports.
Yes.
What a novel idea!
I know, novel approach.
Can't go into a girls' locker room. Wow. I mean, common sense. I mean, we need Alabama common sense and Alabama values in Washington, D.C.
Now, I hope they send Kamala Harris down here, because I've been saving this bit. Actually, I haven't been saving. I've been using it for months now, if not, over a year.
I'm a better looking person than Kamala.
Come on down.
That's hysterical. Okay, that's a good one. We need to borrow that one from you.
He's fantastic. He's funniest president, I think.
By
we
far.
we are not worthy of having him as our president, because he is hysterical. But he is. But more importantly, yes, he is fun. But he means what he says.
Right.
And he does what he says. I mean, ask Iran right now.
Well, and we were talking off air. I think Iran is. Well, it's coming because of the way their hardliners are behaving. And it's fascinating. J.D. Vance laid it out in fairly good detail in Joe Rogan's show about how the more they have breakthroughs with the actual pragmatists there, the more the hardliners freak out.
Yep.
And thus why we're stuck. And yet, the top news story after 2 o'clock there at 1819 News is Alabama gas prices jumped 22 cents per gallon since last week due to the Iran conflict. So, I think Americans in like the abstract, especially conservatives, are like, yeah, we haven't liked Iran since the, Jimmy Carter days.
1979.
Thank you.
But I think there's also a lot of Americans who go, $4, $3-something for gas. Daggone.
Well, there's two parts there. A lot of this started. It did take 47 years to get to this point, but the Biden administration and even the Obama administration giving them literally pallets of cash, literally, and helping them, and us not addressing this for 47 years. The time we cannot have. There's no possible way we can allow them to have a nuclear weapon. Zero. There was people thinking that they didn't have a ballistic missile until they shot one out into the Indian Ocean, 2,250 miles at us. I mean, that could reach any European capital, any, and you put a nuclear warhead on it, and it changes a lot. We cannot have them getting a nuclear weapon or any type of nuclear product, but it also goes to energy dominance. And the Biden administration with the Green New Deal, that's all AOC stuff, and that, if you really want AOC to be running this country, and by the way, I saw something today where she was the leader in the clubhouse in New Hampshire for the presidential nomination.
Yeah.
I mean, that should scare everybody.
That excites me. Bring that on. Bring that on. If that is your challenger, are you kidding me? That's the best you guys have?
Holy cow.
Let's take that and pig to town.
You should be fearful, much more fearful of Latina power, Eddie.
But you guys are a little paranoid about it. I gotta be honest. Latina's no crazy.
Yeah.
But it goes back to the and I'm sorry I went off on that little tangent, but for Biden administration with the Green New Deal and AOC and all them, we lost our energy dominance that we had in the first Trump administration. Now we are getting it back. We are exporting 5 to 6 million barrels a day. And you hear the president talk about the line of tankers coming into Houston right now and getting oil. And we can, and there's a global thing that, global stability and all that, but we can hold our own in this country with oil and gas. We are number one right this second, and I don't see us slowing down under the Trump administration, and we can control that. Now, we need, obviously, the president doesn't want boots on the ground. I don't want boots on the ground. There is nobody that wants boots on the ground, but we need a regime change in Iran, and I think that's the only way that happens is continue trying to knock out these hardliners and getting to the people who want to talk, and we're not there yet. But I think he's day 12. I think he is proving a point that no one is safe, and but. We need to protect the Persian Gulf. We need to protect all, our allies, Israel, Saudi Arabia, etc., and make sure that the oil is flowing. And but Iran is the head of the snake. There is no mistake about it. The Houthis, Hezbollah, and Hamas are all funded by them, and the Houthis are the ones that are bombing these ships right now, shooting these things. And we got to cut off the head of the snake and cut off their funding.
Here. Well, we are out of time now. I really do appreciate your time, Rhett. And
great to see you guys.
Oh, it's great to be here.
Yeah,
I had a great time.
Well,
I told you he wasn't that bad of a guy.
It was fun. It was fun. Hey, listen, hard questions. I mean, we disagree on the IVF maybe, but you know what? That was a fair question, and I'll stick with my I'll stick with the president on both the IVF and with the gas tax, and I think he was right on both, and but I've had a ball. Thank y'all.
Well, thank you, Rhett. Y'all check him out, and that's again rhettforalabama.com.
That's right.
That's it. Great job. And hey, by the way, I've been impressed with the way you said Marcus. You've done a great job.
I've been learning ecclesiastical Latin. So Marcus, I'm like, yeah, Marcus.
I didn't know you were struggling.
Is it Marquise? No, it's Marcus.
No, we Alabamatized it.
Exactly right.
We'll be right back, folks.
Want to carry news talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Lunch should be comforting and done right. At Epicure and Jack's Tavern, their meat and three is scratch made to order, not scooped from a steam table. Real cooking, real portions. And for guests 60 and over, it's just $10.99. It's familiar food, elevated, served with care. Lunch at Epicure and Jack's Tavern. Classic Southern comfort, a step above the rest.
This is James Cole with Cole Plumbing, and I want to thank Blue Water Broadcasting. I have been advertising with them for several years, and they have brought me quality business. I really appreciate them.
Did you know that radio is the #1 reach platform in all of media? It's true. Call us to find out how to put radio's #1 reach to work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is #1 in the #2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Live local talk. The River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. By the way, that's my line with the ladies now. I'm learning ecclesiastical Latin.
I thought that was Starsky and Hutch theme there for a minute. That was pretty good, Joey.
You like that theme?
Yeah, I did.
We can keep it going for a second.
I like that, dude. Very Starsky and Hutch. I know this is before your time.
Oh, I know Starsky and Hutch. But this part of the program brought to you by Dylan Rings.
Yes.
And they're at Dylan Rings. Of course, we told you about the custom design work they can do.
Right.
Second to none. Josh the Jeweler's true genius.
100%, buddy.
But, of course, they can do things like repairs. Could be it's not completely broke, but it's getting there.
I mean, let's be honest. He's the secret repair guy in town that all the other jewelers use. So
Of course. Maybe you have like two pieces of jewelry. Like maybe you have an old wedding band and engagement ring from that SOB husband you divorced.
Ooh.
And you want to give it back to him, and you're not going to pawn it off for nothing.
Pennies, no.
Take it by the Dylan Rings. Josh can come up with something.
Sure.
In fact, I know a lady who's got that issue.
Yep.
Take it by Dylan Rings, lady. I'm sorry I spoke about you in that manner. Wonderful woman. You've been very welcoming and gracious to me. I apologize. But get by Dylan Rings, lady. Get by there. And, of course, they can also do spa treatments.
Right.
And that means cleaning up jewelry that
Yeah,
you wear all the
getting
time, and it looks like you wear it all the
Yeah,
time.
getting it shine back up.
Essentially any jewelry you need, they got it,
Yep.
including a great inventory. So check them out today. That's Dylan Rings, 119 Brown Springs Road, right here in Montgomery, just off of Atlanta Highway. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. Let's go to line 1 and talk to Ray Bowl from Prattville Carpet.
How are you guys doing?
Pretty good. How you doing, bro?
I'm walking back into Jag. I feel like I live here now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's almost there. We got one more week.
Well, hey, man, one more week.
And a half. Week and a half, and we're out of here. I hope and pray. I never realized when I was a kid, this was AD, right?
Yeah. Yep.
As a teenager, and we used to play them every year. And it was the one thing we knew we could beat, Prattville. And I never stepped foot in this building. Now I know it like the back of my hand. I dream about this building at night. Yeah, I think I spent more time here than I did in Prattville High School.
Back up.
But hey, listen, I don't really know what's going on at the store. I'm totally lost there. I won't be back for another week. But if you need a floor, David, Bart, Chad, they've got your back. Give them a call.
Chad's still giving those best discounts, right?
He is. He absolutely is.
That's my guy.
He got a little perturbed today at David because like if you go on our website, you can type in your name and information and say, hey, I really like what this looks like on the website. Can you send me a sample? Well, somehow David figured out how to hijack that and all went to his email.
Nice.
And Chad figured that out today. He's like, I was wondering how it's getting all up.
Nice.
I said, well, you got to be smarter than that,
Right.
there, brother. I mean, I can't throw stones at that one.
Don't hate the player,
That was-
hate the game.
Yeah. You know what? It is what it is.
That's right.
But if y'all need a floor, y'all go to the website. Look at our website. See everything we have. You can fill out your name and number, and then Chad or David or Bart will give you a call. More likely it'll be David at this point.
285-8117. Be sure to tell them that Ray is just up to no good. That he sent you.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, let me get this school and see what's going on. I'll let you later.
See you, Ray.
Appreciate it, Ray. So we learn anything today?
We learned we got some good people running for
Yeah. It's 2 candidates. So
two candidates in 2 days. And both of them very, very good people.
Yeah, and I've started to judge this more of less what I want ideologically. Like, if I really wanted it, I'd run. And I'm not running.
I just want to be left alone. That's why I don't run.
Be ideal, but, you know, that ain't going to happen.
Right.
But in terms, I try to judge, like the unspoken stuff. Like the person's personality and how they are on air and off air. And, like,
Right.
in the room. And I like Rhett. I like David.
I like
we
them
met
both.
yesterday. I'm like, okay, good. You know, there's sometimes you meet, like, some of these candidates.
Met a
Eddie,
couple and just like,
Well, luckily, folks, it's very rare you get somebody that just creeps you out. That I can't. Yeah, I'm not thinking of a name, but there are definitely moments.
yes, there are.
And then there are ones where you're like, "Oh, you poor thing." You know those?
Yes, I do.
I'm thinking of a few of those.
I know
where I'm
one-
like, you don't know what you're getting into.
Yep.
And it's neither of these. I'm not talking about anybody we recently talked to.
No.
But, like, it's just been over the years of doing this. Sometimes you're like, oh.
And we've seen it. We've seen when they find out, oh,
yeah,
this is how it really goes.
Yeah. Anyway, we also learned, he mentioned, Rhett Marcus mentioned that Tabitha Eisner said, go vote on August 11th in the Republican primary special election. But even the heads of the Democrat Party, Randy Kelly and Joe Reed, are like, she's smoking something serious. To steal a line from Dennis Miller, I think that broad sleeps upside down in a cocoon of her own wings.
She's making noise, buddy. She's
Actually, Tabitha seems lovely.
making noise.
And on that note, we got to get out of here.
Let's go, bro.
Happy hour with Greg and the crew.
I believe so.
They're next.
From the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.